Hello, welcome back to Ones of the Force, a Star Wars podcast. I'm Phil from the Bucket Awesomeness, and I'm joined as usual by my co-host Dave from the Life of Brien and George from Cinema Savvy for what is a very special episode of Ones of the Force. It's our Rogue One commentary celebrating May the 4th. Good morning, gentlemen. The 4th be with you.
Happy Star Wars Day!
Free! The good Star Wars Day, not Life Day, because no one likes to celebrate Life Day. No. Not unless you're Imperial scum. How are you feeling about this morning? You all ready and excited?
I'm good. I have popcorn in my lovely Rogue One tin. I have some Coke on the go. No, I have some Pepsi on the go.
Oh dear.
Some ways to get through it. But yeah, so I'm all good. It's going to be good. I'm looking forward to actually talking about the film.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be fun. I've had a very stressful few weeks, and it's nice to celebrate it with another viewing of Rogue One. I genuinely can't tell you what number this is. I've seen it.
I don't think I can either. I've seen it more times than I can remember. So.
But yeah, it's
do need to put out there as anybody who is actually watching along now, if there are anybody watching, we're going to be starting this literally at 001 on the timing of the Blu-ray that we're watching. We will say 3, 2, 1, 1. We will be pressing play. If you're watching this in the future or listening to this on the future in iTunes, doesn't matter. Just play it when you start, really.
Indeed, we'll basically get it set up so when you've got it on the Blu-ray and you've got the menu and it's on. So when you press play, you pause it, rewind it. We're on he's come for us at 000001. Because my player won't go back any further than that for some reason, which is annoying. So we're going to I'll be doing a countdown to the film, and then we're going to be talking you through it. We'll give you our thoughts because the kind people at Lucasfilm weren't kind enough to give us a commentary on the Blu-ray, so you're going to have to put up with us doing it. Oh, what a shame! Anyway, gentlemen, are you two ready?
Yeah, let's get this started.
Everyone,
okay.
When it hits to 1, Phil got the countdown.
Yes. So people at home, if whether you're watching or listening, have the Blu-ray or your DVD loaded now. We're going to do a countdown from 3, and when I hit 1, we're going to hit play, and then we should talk Star Wars. So, in 3, 2, 1.
We are off.
We are indeed.
Film logo.
Yeah, Lucasfilm logo, indeed. So one interesting thing, I love how over time it's changed from like gold to green to silver.
That the original, just that green.
Yeah.
Now, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, did anybody else expect a crawl to happen now?
Yes.
Yeah.
However, the one cool thing, like when we did our Battle of the Brackets a long time ago, when the first time Dave and I did a video with George, this is what I was arguing for. One of my scenes was the opening where it's from a planet and from a starfield panning up or panning down into a planet and ship. Again, happens here with Rogue One. It's one of those things that's happened in every single Star Wars film. And I'm very happy for that because I do love that opening. Credit shot is so cool.
There's a terrible fan theory that when you get when it starts, you've got the lines, which is obviously from the planet. Someone says, "Oh yes, that's a reference to the crawl moving in space." I'm like, "No, it's not. It's just a planet."
Yeah,
I did when it first came across, and I didn't spot the ship. I did think it was going to see a Rogue One in some way coming across. Like, is that going to turn and look?
I love this droid here. Sorry, it's a puppet. It's a real droid they made. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It looks really cool. It reminds you of Tatooine, obviously from Episode 4, with the moisture farm. Except it's just purifying the water here instead of kind of creating water, as it were. And it's just something different. But it's what Gareth Edwards and what Kathleen Kennedy wants to put into it again with what they started in Episode 7, which is more realistic props. Now, of course, in here, lots of cool little Easter eggs. Her little doll. You've got some of the cool bits inside. And blue milk.
The blue milk was something that was awesome. I missed it first time I saw this. I was just completely oblivious, looking all gooey-eyed and everything else, and missed the blue milk. But it's lovely that they have all these little things in there. I love just the fact straight away we're in real places, real scenes, real ground, real mountains. Apart from a ship that is obviously CG, the rest not obviously CG. It looks amazing.
You actually have a model for it though. So part of it is probably done with model. Yeah, the Krennic mobile in his older shuttle, he actually preferred to have the older model instead of the new Lambda shuttles that were being brought in. Getting a little tidbit from Catalyst there. Getting on Ursa. Oh dear. Mads Mikkelsen's getting everywhere at the moment. I actually saw Doctor Strange for the first time the other day, and he was just fantastic in that. He's just getting everywhere.
The man's an absolute legend.
He is. And of course, his brother Lars is also in Star Wars because he plays
George's favourite.
Favorite characters. Death Troopers. Garbled. This is the interesting thing, because we're watching with subtitles so that we can talk to you about it at home. I'm very interested, because I haven't seen it with subtitles yet, to see if, when the Death Troopers speak, it comes up with words or garbled translation. Oh, dear. And Lyra being stupid by going, look, I'm just going to go back to your dad. I know I'm going to die, but, yeah.
I like the interesting thing that, one, she has a kyber crystal.
Yeah.
Two, that I know when you look through the visual guide that, or it's one of the books that mentions that that red sash that she's wearing is a sign of a Jedi follower or something to do with the Force, George? You know, it's I know
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's in one of the books.
Guardians of the Wheels, something to do with that. It's
the kyber crystal.
No, the
red sash that she wears. I'm sure it was.
It was something like that. Well, they said that in the original production that Lyra was a Jedi, which made sense because she basically looks like she's in Jedi robes.
The thing is, though, because Chirrut Imwe's got the same kind of red sash as well. If you look at his costume, here we go. Man of your talents? Yes, farming, because it's better than kind of creating a Death Star. The interesting thing, the Celestial Power logo, which he has later on, they first got from episode 4, when it's literally just them loading up the weapon for the Death Star. It's one of those interesting things, because Celestial Power was how Krennic tricked Galen into making what became the massive super weapon. And here we are. Mechanical noises speaking indistantly. There we go. It does not. It does not actually give us any translations. Damn it! I was hoping it might.
And one of the things I've noticed, and it's really stupid, but on his on Krennic's hat, that stood at the front. That's got the Imperial logo on his.
Yeah.
First time I've seen it on anybody who has an actual Imperial logo ingrained into it. It's normally just like 2 rings, and it just intrigued me. And it's a stupid thing, but it was one of those.
No, that's actually a very interesting point. I hadn't actually noticed that until now. Yeah, indistinct chatter. This is indistinct chatter. Damn it! What I want is the translation. When they do a bad lip reading for Rogue One, I want them to do hilarities with the Death Troopers. Also, this is one of my favorite parts here with Jin hiding out and Lyra kind of going, "Hello, I'm here," and it's like, "Oh dear, look, she's back from the dead," and it's like, "Oh," Galen's just like, "Why would you do this?" Those Death Troopers look so cool, though, especially when it's just in that kind of washed-out grey, green, black environment. They just look so foreboding. Well, the interesting thing is, though, they actually have green lights in the bottom, but you can't see them. I don't think they have them on in the film. I think it's only in promotional material that they actually have them lit up.
You can see why George loves these so much, the Troopers. They do look so imposing, especially next to Krennic in his white uniform.
Badass. Oh, I love them.
They have me stunned in silence every time I see them. I want one. I just need like.
Well, you just want a Death Trooper walking around your house.
Yeah, if I was rich, if I had like Arab money, I could literally just go into a shop, hire some tour guy, give him a decent salary, and literally just have him follow me everywhere as a Death Trooper. That'd
be awesome. I must admit though, every time that Krennic says do it, I can't help but think of Palpatine. Like, do it. Again, it's one of those interesting things with his character, the fact that he refers to the child as an it. He refers to things as property. He doesn't see the humanity in things. It's Galen and Krennic are on the same side in terms of they're working towards the same goal in creating the Death Star, and Galen's forced to, but they're 2 sides of almost the same coin of being scientists, and one went one way, one went the other. Kind of an interesting comparison. And there's the toy, I quite like that. And they're burning the background. It's the only time you see that, whereas in the trailer we had an epic shot. Oh dear. No, you see, that's the thing, Death Troopers in cave looks absolutely badass.
Just to have that hiding place, I love how they've built that already into the ground, knowing that one day he was going to come. There was no question about it. They were going to get found.
It wasn't an if, it wasn't a when. The shots look so cool. I mean, the thing wasn't this. What was this? Greenland or I can't remember. Iceland, sorry.
Iceland, yeah.
Yeah. No, because Greenland's where they shot Empire Strikes Back. They shot Hoth, wasn't it? If I remember correctly.
Just down there with a little light. What you need is one of those rocks that Zeb gave to Callus.
Yes. And that's what created the next Fulcrum, who is now. I reckon he actually might be General Madine. That's another thing. That's for another video for another day. If you haven't seen our Series 3 review, go back and watch that, and you'll see our discussions on that one. And of course,
the
this
man,
character
the
is
legend, the overplayed Forrest Whitaker, Saw
Yes.
Gerrera.
And then here, Rogue One the title.
Now,
And
let's just discuss. Guys, what do you think of this title, George?
Don't like it. I don't like the hollow font doesn't work. I like the music and everything else that's been on with it. It's just like, oh look, it's £200 a signing person.
Yeah.
Oh no, her signing fee is going to come up so many times today.
Yes, it will.
I'm meeting Donnie Yen for £45. She is 200. Can someone explain?
Nuts.
Adam Tudyk's £40.
Yeah.
Emperor's 60. That's 150. There's still another name to get before you reach Jin's price.
So look, 42227, and here we are with our first shot of Stormtroopers, because Stormtroopers will win.
I just love that the bars on this door are the design that you see on the Death Star walls as well.
Yeah.
That similar pattern.
Yeah, that Galactic Empire. Look at this. Oh, I do love this.
First shot from Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm sorry, Rogue One.
Kafrene. And also, when here you got the first shot of the TIE Reaper. A lot of people miss that because it's Scarif when they deploy the Death Troopers, but actually it's here as well. I do love this shot. It's kind of more like what you'd expect from like Nar Shaddaa and Nal Hutta and kind of the backwater outer rim world. And there's so much life in it. If you could literally pause this, look in there, and you could have a character there for almost any film. You just kind of have their own background. It's again more of the what you call the architecture of Star Wars with the kind of more rectangles with circular ends on it, kind of just bland look to it. Oh dear, this guy, he doesn't last long, but if you just see where he comes from, I must admit.
Jeddah, I think.
Yeah, well, I know he comes from Jeddah, but it's in more like, I want to see when it comes to like Rebels Series 4, like more of the background of the Alliance before it becomes what we know and what it is today. Because he's also got code cylinders as well. If you look on his coat on the his right hand side, it's got code cylinders in the top pocket.
What I do like now is that what we see of Cassian already, that this impression where you think you go in this film thinking, all right, he's just one of the rebels, and then to see how far he's gone for the rebellion, just to think this guy's kind of in my way, I might not get clean away. Best thing I can do is, well, I'm going to shoot him in the back. Coming in a few seconds. They're going to tricky Cassian.
There we go.
Stormtroopers is absolutely ridiculously stupid. I'm going to get my gloves. All right then, I'll let you. Yeah, Trooper down. The cool thing is the fact that you had Matthew Wood and Sam Whitner do the voices of the Stormtroopers. They did the battle droids and, of course, Darth Maul in Rebels and the Clone Wars as well. That is just brutal, isn't it? That's just a brutal shot. Come here, we'll be fine. Don't worry. Nah, you're gonna slow me down. Yeah, it's one of those things that don't forget that although we love the Rebel Alliance as a freedom fighting group, they are in fact a terrorist organization in terms of the eyes of the Imperials, and it's kind of good to see them shown in a light that isn't quite so shimmery. Because when you have it with Two Tubes, who doesn't love Two Tubes? He's awesome. So when you have the Rebel Alliance, it's always shown with Luke, Han, and Leia, and Chewie, and their fight against the Empire, and it's all done kind of almost through rose-tinted goggles, whereas to see Cassian be that brutal, it's good to see that realistic edge added to them. Again, Saw Gerrera adds that other side of it. He adds the brutal side of the coin as well. Two Tubes, can't wait to see him in Rebel Series 4, though. And of course, our first shot of Bodhi. Bodhi, probably the most important character in this film that he gets very overlooked, in my opinion, because without Bodhi defecting, no one gets the message. Doesn't get from Galen through to Saw, that gets through to Jin, that gets through to the Alliance, that actually gets everyone to Scarif and gets the Death Star plans. Very overlooked character, in my opinion. I love these shots of Jeddah. It's just beautiful.
I was going to say Jeddah is a stunning town. If you look at all of Gareth Edwards' work, from Monsters to Godzilla, or obviously this as well, he shoots perspective.
The turbo tank.
And when he's shooting perspective, it's very interesting because he likes to show how big things are. That's why that trailer is a shot of the Assats. And just then with Jeddah, he likes to zoom out to show how tiny these people really are in comparison to the other stuff.
Yeah. I must admit, seeing the turbo tank was one of my favourite pieces. Interestingly here, though, you have one of your first close-up shots of one of the Stormtrooper helmets. And what Gareth Edwards did for Rogue One was he wanted to bring it basically into the 21st century, because we knew you'd be watching in HD. On the original Stormtroopers, the little lines going down the side of the cheek, here, as you can see, are actually a sticker. But on the Rogue One Troopers, are actually holes cut into it, so you have a full-on proper grill to it to actually give it that more depth. Here we are, the first
We're about to get the introduction to my favourite droid in the Star Wars universe, behind R2-D2, obviously.
And AP5, obviously.
AP5 we love and we'll always talk about, but this is just such an entrance.
Yep. Congratulations, you are being rescued. Oh, it's just brilliant. It's just one of those things, just like, really? Why would she rescue me? Yavin. I must admit, when I saw this in the cinema for the first time, seeing Yavin, and of course, here comes our first shot of the ghost. If you look on the right-hand side down the bottom, there's the ghost. Yeah, when I saw Yavin pop up for the first time in the cinema, I was squealing in my seat. I absolutely loved it.
Oh, I recognise that droid.
You will indeed, George.
Oh, that droid's my documentary, that one there. Interesting.
Anybody isn't following.
Again, one of the things I like with Gareth Edwards and what they did with Rogue One, they paid very close attention to what is the architecture of the Rebel Alliance. Again, well, the architecture of both the Galactic Empire and the Rebel Alliance, so that when you do watch Rogue One and then Episode 4, it does gel seamlessly. And of course, here, there's a hell of a lot of dialogue that you get in the trailer, but you don't get in the film. But I actually think what they did here works. More of a half interrogation, half just, we know the facts, just tell us what we want, instead of the, the standard, tell us your name, what do you do, blah, 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 blah. And of course, Mon Mothma. Everyone loves Mon Mothma.
O'Reilly as Mon Mothma, looking so much like the part. You can tell this is the woman who becomes the lady we see in Return of the Jedi.
Oh,
there's no doubt at all. It's so close. It's superb casting.
Of course, with casting here, Diego Luna, he does a fantastic job as casting. I love his character. Oh dear, her teeth are almost as big as her price tag.
Now, come on, let's be nice.
Yeah, so here, it's one of the interesting things with this talk about Saw Gerrera is when you see him in Rebels, we haven't quite seen him get to the level of mentalism that he is now, and it'd be interesting to see if in Rebel Series 4 if Jyn is even mentioned at all. I know she won't be in it because the timelines don't add up, but she might actually be mentioned. Again, I love that. It's just like, look, come on, we're on the clock. Tell us what you want to know, or we'll put you exactly back where we found you. Just the no-nonsense part of the rebellion, which I like.
The whole scene itself, I mean, just they've got the detail so down for what we saw in A New Hope. It's quite incredible. Just that board behind Jyn with the green lines on it.
Yep.
It just makes it. That is home. That's Star Wars. It really shouts it from the rooftops.
Oh, it does, yeah. I mean, what they'd actually do, I have no idea, but they're really cool. It's this slow track in on Jyn that they keep on cutting back to. It gives it this punch that when you get right to the end of her speech and then kind of it just has this impact on it, but you don't see it coming because it's building up slowly. And the way Gareth Edwards does this is incredible. You see, right here, it's just built up to this bit here where she has to make the decision, is she going to help them or not? I really like it. Yeah, it's already finished. Again, it's just these little camera movements here and there to kind of keep some sort of pace, but kind of also keep some sort of impact on it. I do love that. And yeah, as we were saying, the architecture and the general surroundings. Oh, of course, here we go with Bail Organa.
The best thing about Bail Organa's entrance is it's that one time we get the Force theme played, which I think was an amazing piece to put behind his entry.
Yep.
It's that connection to the prequels, which is something that they probably steered away from for a little while when it first went over to Disney.
Yeah.
The prequels kind of looked a bit like, oh, we'll not talk about those too much, but like having Bail Organa played by Jimmy Smits coming in, yes, the ghost in the top corner there. But yeah, it's just such a nice link, and he comes in and it just links the stories so well
It
together.
works perfectly. Yes, no, I love it. And the Force theme is something that you do, of course, identify with A New Hope more, but again, it just stitches everything together lovely. It's what they've been doing with the comics, the books, and indeed the films and the TV shows, is stitching everything together as nicely as possible. Ah, dear. Yeah, K2SO stating the obvious there. I haven't reprogrammed Imperial Droid. I just love his no-nonsense sass. Just doesn't agree with anything. So, see, it's a bad idea. I think so. Just as Cass is like, he doesn't care. He just speaks his mind. He's the anti-3PO, and I do love it.
And for a CG character,
I thought it was a suit first. I must admit, it was that good.
It's very, very well done.
But with ILM doing it, it's going to be incredible.
We're very much past the Scorpion King now, aren't we? We've moved on along.
We don't talk about that mess, because that, oh god, that really was a mess.
Was it the Mummy 2? Sorry, Mummy 2? That really bad?
Yeah, the second Mummy, yeah.
I love The Rock. Scorpion King's hilarious. Everyone laughs about the movie. I remember seeing it. I was like, wait, where's The Rock on this Scorpion?
Yeah.
Why?
It was worse as there was not one but two spin-off films, and the second one's just even worse. They didn't even need to do a second. But yes, we're getting off topic here. We're talking about Scorpion King instead of Rogue One. Yeah, I love the interior of the U-Wing here. The U-Wing that was, annoyingly, I think the only ones they had were deployed at Scarif, because you don't get to see them in Episode 4, which sucks, because I like the U-Wing. It's a really cool ship they introduced. Again, here, just K2SO just being sassy. Do you want to know the probability of how you use that gun against you? It's high.
It's high.
It's really high. It's very high.
I just think, again, he's played so well. The characters, and yes, he does sound very much like he does in iRobot. Characterization
less robotic than iRobot.
Music as well. The score from Giacchino is incredible. Given he had 4 weeks to.
That was
What I didn't know is he did the score for Doctor Strange as well, and that was actually.
He's a Disney guy. He's doing the Spider-Man score. He's done quite a few Pixar's, Ratatouille, Inside Out, and he was the guy I always wanted to take over for John Williams. I think he will do it in the future.
I agree. I love the shot here of Saw's leg, though. It's just again what they've done with ILM is just incredible. If that's a prop, it's a prop. If it's CG, it's CG. But you can't tell they've blended it so well. Bodhi, Rook. Oh, dear.
The impressions begin.
The impressions do begin. It's all right. We'll have George's favourite meme later on. It's fine. I think Bodhi's one of those overlooked characters in this film, because again, here he is trying to get the information that will ultimately save the galaxy out, and Saw Gerrera nearly just throws him out the front door.
I just love how Forrest Whitaker chose to play this role. I think it's so over the top, but at the same time a little bit understated. It's brilliant, a bizarre playing, but I know in some of the extras that I've seen that he does talk, that he didn't really get to talk to the guy who played Bodhi because he was in character. He stays in character, and he said I chose a certain way to play it. And so I think that would be quite hard to play against. And there is our alternative Darth Vader. Really? Yeah. This is the Rebel version. They've even got the Vader breathing noise behind it, very slight as he takes a buff on his oxygen.
Ball Gullet. Everyone loves a bit of Ball Gullet. Originally, this was a full puppet, but they chose to make it a bit of it CG to kind of give it more of an impact.
The eyes are practical effects.
Yeah.
I love this shot here. So the TIE fighter into the Star Destroyer, into the Death Star. It's just this wonderful shot here where you've got the weapon being loaded in, and just the finality of it all, and the link between what we see at the end of Episode 3 and, of course, in Episode 4 with the Death Star. And, of course, our first look here at Guy Henry playing
Tarkin.
So my mind went blank there for a second. Oh, dear.
And let's just have a few minutes while these guys discuss.
Yeah, I mean,
what I thought we might get is that reflection that you get in the window when he's looking out.
Yeah, not
and
this
his
here.
voice. But then when he turns around, he's actually a fully realized character in this.
Yeah.
And to be honest, he's got more screen time in this than he does in A New Hope.
Yeah.
It's just, and how far the technology has come for them to be able to do this is quite incredible. Yes, there are still things the eyes can tell that's not real, but it's so damn close.
It is. What an interesting thing here that I love, in terms of just ignoring Tarkin just for a second, is the fact that we've come so far now that you can have a shot like they do now, where you have the Death Star and the Star Destroyers in the background, looking out through glass on a Star Destroyer, and it looks so real. It looks, the reflections of the glass and the shot in the background to make it look that much more real and so much more close to what we would. Yeah, there you go. That shot there, you just see it, and it looks so much more like what you would actually see if you were there. But yes, so the CG on Guy Henry is good, but it's his voice that sells it, because he does such a good impression of him, even though he wasn't trying to do an impression, as he says if you watch the extras. But he does such a good job that it helps sell it, because the CG is good, but if the voice wasn't on, it would be jarring. But he manages to blend it perfectly. I love the flashback here to Coruscant. It's the only time you see Coruscant in a non-prequel film, in terms of not episodes 1, 2, and 3, because this is a prequel film, but it's not an episode film. So yeah. But of course, Galen there in his Imperial uniform. Yeah, so you haven't got the Celestial Power logo yet, but what I like is the Celestial Power logo is eventually what they use for the super weapon on the Death Star. Yeah, Stardust there again. It's a kind of silly little nickname that he has for her, but it becomes very important later on in the film.
Massive plot point. So they're now giving us that. The Stardust they're getting in there, just so when it comes out later, we are very much aware of why Jin knows which one the Death Star plans are under.
The interesting thing is, if you read the book Catalyst, the rest of the plans that they talk about in the comms tower, you can actually find out what they are, because it lists them off in Catalyst. So it's kind of interesting to see all the different parts of celestial power being brought together to make the Death Star. Again, shots like this, I absolutely love that grimy, sooty look that you get from Star Wars, that everything looks worn. So you have the shot there of the window where you can see out of it. And it just looks so much more real these days. I'll be honest with you, also the lighting in here, of course, now we're on Jedi. It's incredible to see these shots here. Kind of, again, similar architecture to what you get on Tatooine with Jabba's palace there with the domes. I quite like that.
Just, I mean, you get a moment where that's flying over, and the shadow that it casts moves with the terrain, and it's just, I mean, look at these shots of the sun coming through that rock. It's just stunning.
It's amazing what they can do with CG, considering that is a helicopter. They filmed a helicopter doing that, but to replace the helicopter with the Ewing crew, I love this shot. Can you imagine living in that city and look at all you can see is the underbelly of a Star Destroyer?
It's very much, that reminds me, it's something that you would see in Battlefront. That shot
you probably will get it in Battlefront. In Battlefront 2,
a Star Destroyer not in space, in the atmosphere is just it looks amazing.
Again, I love the throwback here to the
Luke's goggles,
binoculars from Episode 4, just with that crackly, grainy effect on it, with a green tinge to it. I do love that. I think it's cool.
I love the confirmation also that we're getting that it is the kyber crystals that power the lightsabers that are what powers the Death Star, which was hinted at in some of the Clone Wars unfinished stories that they put up online. There's a story about a giant kyber crystal. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I think I'm just saying yes, probably is.
Again, so again, just to interrupt you here, it's one of my favorite scenes of K2SO, where it's just like, yeah, I'm surprised you care about safety. I don't care about mine. So, well, I think it's a bad idea, but you get shot and drops the rucksack. I love that. That sass is just, I love it. Alan Tudyk plays it so well. Sorry I interrupted you, Dave.
No, that's fine, man. That's fine. I was just on a Clone Wars rant. That's absolutely fine.
Well,
now,
awesome.
Split me. This, I don't know if this is. Then George, you can talk about Bo Gullet. I'm gonna.
Well, this is what was interesting. The practical effects here.
Ryan is safe.
All right, George. So let's go down singing there.
It's amazing just to do everything time he speaks about Bo Gullet. It's just you want to like. I wish I could have him in a room just saying his lines on loop like a day. Oh, no, the truth. He loves it. No, Ball Colour is an interesting one because I was absolutely crying at the cinema. I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. Like, it's so not suited to Star Wars, which is why it works in the Star Wars film.
Yeah.
Like,
it's out of place, but not.
I love it here where you've got the music and the TIE Fighter howl going over the top is brilliant. Because that howl is what makes it. Again, here we are, AP5. It's not AP5, but I love the look of that droid. AP5 has kind of ruined that love for me, though.
Classic Death Star droid.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that everything is so practical and there's stories behind
Each
all
character.
the religions and things that you see.
Ponda Baba and Doctor, what's his name?
Evazan.
Yeah. The fact that they're in this just makes me laugh. I love it. It's an unnecessary cameo, but a brilliant cameo at that.
They must have been literally leaving the planet that day.
Yeah.
Like, they
were just visiting. They were having a day out. Fancy going to Jeddah for a bit?
This is one of the systems where they got a death penalty. I love the Imperial Pro droid in the background there.
It's just there's so much, again, like we saw earlier, there's so much life on the streets. They've packed them. There's not just like a few people wandering around. Like even the early versions of Star Wars where you're on Tatooine,
Rebellion's
there
built
wasn't
on
that
hope.
many.
Something that's called back to later with such kind of falseness is a bit annoying, really.
We could have done this as the how many times I hope said drinking game, but we'd be pretty drunk by the end of it, and it's only 10 o'clock in the UK here, so we'll not be doing that.
And this is a PG show, so we're not going to be getting drunk.
However, for the late night show, that'll be coming. I know.
That'll be different. And of course, our first introduction here, and may the Force of Others be with you, which is my sign off for this show. And our first introduction to Chirrut and Baze. I have a lot of time.
I cannot wait to meet him next month. I'm going to be so excited to meet Donnie Yen.
It will be an awesome day when you're going to meet him.
Yeah.
When they announced the cast of Rogue One, I remember when they announced Donnie Yen, that was the biggest thing for me because I'd seen Ip Man, I'd seen some of his martial art films, and when more details kept coming out, he's a blind monk. He's blind and he's one of the best martial artists in the world. It was always going to be incredible for the film, and I'm glad that he got of the supporting cast. I'd say he, to me, is the best one. And
easily. This line here, the strongest stars of hearts of Kyber.
That
I know it's an off kind of line for, and actually referred to the Death Star. If you kind of read between the lines there, it's kind of cool.
It's just, I mean, the fact that he calls out the crystal, he can sense the crystal on her. I just think it just plays already that into my mind. Why I already thought, when he gets towards the end, that staff that he had with the metal handle at the top, I honestly thought for a second that when he walks out later on, that was going to ignite and we would see
Darth Maul
lightsaber.
Darth Maul from Rebels, yeah.
It's lovely that we get...
I love a TX-225 tank here. It's just incredible. Again, practical effects. It just makes it better. The interesting thing here is the one thing that George Lucas actually chose was the tank commander in the TX-225. He saw the bunch of designs and picked out that specific one. And said, I want to use that, and that's what they did. So yeah, George Lucas making decisions for Star Wars even now. And of course our mandatory Warwick Davis,
who just finished his lines of Rook. He put a tweet yesterday.
Yeah,
he was recording in England again. And he was Skyping Dave Filoni, so. That'll be interesting to see what happens to them.
I just love seeing stormtroopers and actual stormtroopers being there. I love seeing the plastic suits. I love the sound they make. I love the fact we're actually seeing. I mean, obviously through the prequels,
I like the fact they're actually hitting stuff.
CG troops. Yeah, they actually are good shots in here. Don't know what happened between now and New Hope, but yeah. But it's done so well. The thing I love most about this film is that little girl screaming in the street. No, the practical effects of it all, those explosions that are actually going off when you see the making of it, they're running away, and the explosions are actually going off and getting covered in debris. There's nothing here that's
CG.
Not real.
It's good.
Apart from the lasers.
Yeah. I love this bit.
The
tank is just powerful. It's incredible.
One cool it explodes.
The cool thing you're about to see in this fight scene is this is the first and only film where stormtroopers' lenses actually break. When they get hit, you can hear and see the lenses getting shattered. Again, talking about the CG, compared to episode 2 and episode 3, which now unfortunately the clones do look very dated with the CG, is that they didn't have any practical suits. And it just makes it that much better.
There's just so much. I mean, the fact they're now stealing those kyber crystals, I mean, they're just awesome. I mean, we now get that guy in the I don't know if George has got the visual dictionary there, but the guy in the big white suit at the back looks a little bit like a Wampa. I don't know what species he is. Yeah, but the fact they've made that, and that is literally him done. He's very much a background character. I think in the earlier cuts they said he did have a much bigger part to play, or at least a bigger part in the story. No, so you're right, Stormtroopers can't hit anything for toffee. Look at that. Yeah. Point blank, not one hit.
There's a Stormtrooper on the bench and they never showed us how he got knocked out and put there. I've noticed this every single time I've seen it.
Yeah, here we go. If you watch, if you're watching this, you listen to the sound there, you can actually hear and see the lenses cracking. Right there, there you go. You can actually see the glass being shattered out of the lens of the Stormtrooper. It's the only film where you see it.
I got in the cinema showing that I was in the first one was this K2 line.
Yeah. Did you know that wasn't me? It's like, yes, of course. I love this bit here. Just like, clink, mine. Boom. Love it. How can you not? I mean, yeah, K2SO is just brilliant. It's like, yeah, you're right. I should just wait on the ship. Just that sass is just incredible. I love the ATST there, just walking around. It's brilliant. And the crashed Z95 Headhunter. Was that a Z95 or was that an X-Wing? It might be an X-Wing. I can't remember.
It's definitely an X-Wing in the background that I'm looking for. What I do love is that this slap that where K2 tries to like, oh yeah, I'm playing a part here.
Yeah, Diego Luna just
Imperial droid mode.
Yeah,
it's improv, isn't it? As well, I think.
Yeah, because he just trying not to laugh right there.
You didn't see behind his hand. He didn't see the smile in his eyes. He's doing it. And what we get now is we get an awesome scene. I know George, being a fan of Donnie Yen, is probably got. This was probably a scene that made your eyes light up when you saw the next scene as he took out this battalion.
I remember seeing the trailer. It was waiting at the cinema for this to happen.
Yeah,
and I felt it was perfect.
No, I do love it here. The fact that you do have that practical ship. No, that is a Headhunter. You only got the cannon on the one side, and it's a singular wing, not a S-foil.
That's just this. The listening to seeing how everything's happening and those movements and the sound of the foot going down, and then
again, it proves that the stormtroopers can shoot things by the fact that they shoot their own men. I love that. Again, is your foot all right?
I've not seen many of his actual films outside of this. I know, George, have you seen a few of them? I don't know.
So the most famous one, the best one's called Ip Man, and he plays Bruce Lee's instructor. So when I don't want to get this wrong, when the Japanese invaded China, this is like I think just for World War II or during. They took a lot of them like prisoner and stuff. Bruce Lee's instructor is one of them, and it's just one of the most incredible films I ever saw in my life. And obviously, they didn't big it up that it's Bruce Lee's instructor till the end. They say, by the way, this guy trained Bruce Lee. It's Donnie Yen.
Nice.
But they made 3 of them now.
And then Bay's being badass there. Do love it.
Bay's with his, as he announced at Celebration,
big gun. And then as he also announced in there,
that shot where he just sits down on a dead stormtrooper it's quite cold. But he's just like, yeah, I'm just going to plump myself here and relax on this stormtrooper.
It is awesome.
Yeah, that was the bit where you see the end of the staff, that metal point on it. Yeah. Where I honestly thought at the end that was going to produce a stream of light. Yeah. They never had, which I'm quite pleased of. I'm glad there are one, but we'll talk about that when it comes in. Lightsabers in this movie.
Again, I love this. I love the scene because it's just so funny to me. But also, again, to have the different parts of the extremism. I love this. Ching ching. Are you kidding me? I'm blind. One of the best lines ever in this film. I do love it.
The thing with that line is that it's obviously an overdub after it's been done. As that hit is going down, it's clear he doesn't say it at the time. And then so this is going to be a great line to put in. It's just been ever so slightly timed out so you can see it, but it isn't. It's a great line. It did produce a lot of laughs in the film because this is a Star Wars movie, and Star Wars movies are supposed to have some comedy in them, and they all tend to. That's what
he's intended for originally, was the laughs to be for kids. It's just unfortunately turned the wrong type of laughs.
This one is certainly, I would say, I know this is Star Wars for children. I would certainly not put this in that category. The way Gareth Edwards has shot it, the points in the story, what's going to become of these characters, and if people don't know, I mean, massive spoilers ahead. And if you are watching this, why would you be watching this without seeing Rogue One already? Yeah. None of these characters are going to make it out of this. It's a very dark turn for a movie, especially being the first of the spin-off movies. It just seems like, you would probably thought that Gareth Edwards already come out and said, I can't believe Disney allowed me to actually go with what I wanted and get rid of all these characters by the end. It's kind
of really the first Star Wars film that wasn't really shot for children. It was shot for kind of a wider audience. Sorry?
Is Bib Fortuna's cousin?
Yes,
it is Bib Fortuna's cousin, yeah. I saw that in the guide. It was like, oh, that's quite cool. I don't like the thin piece of the head. I like it. I like the big fat one around there. Just look. This jail just reminds me so much of Jabba's palace. It's quite unreal. I know it's got that kind of aesthetic to it, but just the door that they have to open, very reminiscent of the one that opens in Return of the Jedi that Luke comes out after he's killed the Rancor. We get the Rancor keeper having a big cry.
That's Malikili, yes. And I'm not going to let Mum keep me here. I'm going to try and get out of here. and of course, you're Donnie and just sort of going, I don't care. We'll be out here, it's fine.
The more you see him on screen, the more times I watch this, the more I fall in love with the Donnie Yen character.
The more I'm looking forward to the Guardians of the Wills book.
It's out now in America, I believe. UK is an odd one. We don't get it till June, which is a bit of a joke. But it gives me 4 more weeks to read Thrawn because I'm now going to have time to read Thrawn. Chapter 6. I love the window as well. Because in all the trailers, the window's perfect, and then it's suddenly been destroyed in this one.
Yeah.
It's one of the things we went back and changed. Many things.
I just think that again, this scene is so pivotal that we now get the message, but only Jin sees it, and so obviously, but he still thinks it's a trap, all about him. He's so paranoid by this point that it's very much about him in hiding from what he thinks the rebels are trying to kill him. The Imperials are probably trying to kill him. So it's
deceptions. It's a trap.
It's just he plays such. I love his costume. There's so much detail, but it's kind of packed on him. Like you said, there's not much of him left. It's tough to wonder how much he has actually got on there,
especially with the Onderonian flag on the back as well.
I think we're going to find out in Rebels how seriously he got messed up.
Yeah,
because obviously we know we'd be getting in the final season. We know that Tutu is going to be with him, and we know he hasn't got a breathing apparatus at this point. So I'm wondering if there's some big explosion or a big fallout that's going to result in a couple of things happening with him, which is obviously going to happen, but it'll be more interesting to see how they do it. It'll give more backstory to this.
It's going to be lovely. Yeah, they'll tie it in lovely ways. If obviously when people don't watch Rebels, I'll just get this story, but to then have a bit more in depth if you do watch Rebels to see, like George just said there, how much more we're going to see into how he got damaged, how he lost his legs. An explosion probably is the best way it could go. Maybe some kind of gas as well for him to be affected by in the lungs.
Maybe Vader has the high ground.
There's obviously, I mean, you can see in his eyes he does have affection for Jin, and that she's a bit lost, to be honest. She's just become harsh to the world around her. From the fact she's been left by pretty much everyone. Her dad left her in a hole. Well, she ran the hole. Then dumped her back in another hole. and now all she wants to do is carry on, just literally plodding with her life, looking further forward, not really.
Well, then
seeing
they'll
what's
see
around her.
the Imperials threw her in another hole, and was just working on the mining facility.
But I've heard she signed something for them, and they let her have privileges.
Charged a small fortune to.
I love the shot of Death Star.
It's the music as well. It's not even made it to the soundtrack. Some of this, which makes it even better because it's so like mystical.
Just annoys me it's the wrong way up.
I like that. I like it's something that we haven't seen before. It's just this completely different. Every time we've seen the Death Star on film, we've seen it one way. You know exactly how it looks. You ask someone to draw a Death Star, they'll draw it one way, and then to see that reversal,
click clack.
It's just quite. It makes you stand back a bit and go, "Oh, okay, it's something different." And this shot probably here is the only time I really think Tarkin looks a little bit too CGI. That shot just gone. But still,
here, that's the Celestial Power logo in the background right there. It's very interesting how they take that from Episode 4, that Death Star ignition logo, and they create the Celestial Power logo out of it. Yeah, it's kind of cool to see the I don't know what to call them, the bucket heads, the massive bucket heads. Though when it comes to the Death Star troopers, it's just hilarious.
See, this is one of the bits I don't like. I love Baze and Chirrut. I know that Baze hates the Empire and everything, but it just like, I'm going to kill him. I was like, well, you're both in prison. Like, you can't really kill him, can you? Like, I get why they do it. That's the one thing. He just hates them a bit too much.
Yeah.
Then they already know that the cargo pilot is all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like how Baze literally is going to just literally go and kill him because he's an Imperial pilot. I'm going to go kill him now.
Yeah. It's like, oh, someone needed to kill. Yep, I like that. Well, he's got a big gun. That's what he thinks. That's him in a nutshell. His big gun.
He is all about the manpower. He's very much the Zeb, Chewie character. But the fact his story arc is one that I really love, and this the fact the turn that he has once he did. That he has this big change of heart. That is just a gorgeous shot, and we are about to see where a thousand, the one meme has come from that is now everywhere. When this laser goes off,
this is what I'm talking about on his right hand side. Here is the Celestial Power logo, and when it's that is, if you rotate it 90 degrees to the left, is the logo you see on the Death Star when they're firing it up and looking into it. I do like the holograms they use here. Again, I love the firing sequence and how they call right back to it, even with the arm girth and everything. Yeah, it's just, I love it.
And there's a next Stardust mention, but I just think this is actually a scene that carries quite a bit of emotional weight to it. For Obi Mock, Felicity Jones, for the price of her autograph, she is really good in this role. She plays it so well. She plays it very seriously. I mean, they all do. It's not. No one seems to be playing this for. Oh, I'm in a Star Wars movie. It doesn't have to be too. I don't have to be too invested in it. Everyone's playing this. I mean, look, even Galen. Such a powerful scene. It's just look at those. Just an eye twitch from. Forrest Whitaker. It's such a good scene. It works so well for this pivotal point in the story, where really once this first firing goes off. Up until now, to be honest, when I've seen this, I do think the first hour is probably a little bit slow in the movie, an hour and 15. Once this laser goes off, we kind of jump into it.
I love
so
how
a bit more action in it.
I agree with you, Dave, completely. Yes, we mock the price, but that's just because it's stupid. But to see her get more and more emotional, invested in this, right until it cuts, and you see it's just the weight that has just been put on her. It's incredible. And we may mock her price, but Felicity Jones just plays this perfectly. You have to imagine that on set, you probably have someone either in a green suit or maybe just someone standing there with the line being read to them to have that reaction. No, I think it's brilliant.
I love that they go for the big names and the not minor roles, but Felicity Jones is a kind of big name.
Also, they're interesting. Ryan Johnson, the director of Episode 8.
What I love is
Gantry,
the big names. I mean, the two big names in this film is Mads Mikkelsen and Forrest Whitaker by a mile off.
Yeah,
and they keep them as such minor roles.
I was just disappointed that there wasn't more of Forrest Whitaker, but that's something I've said quite often in our shows, so I won't go into too much here. Oh, it's beautiful. It's coming up, and George, we know how much you love that.
It is a perfect meme.
It is.
It plays out for so many things.
I love the fact they do an eclipse for this as well. It just makes it so much more beautiful.
I love Cassian's coat. I know it's something still in the background, but it's reminiscent of Han Solo's Hoth coat. That very
Indeed,
hood.
I agree. I also just realised that you could do a drinking game of how many times we say we love something. So if you want to play a drinking game at home, you can play that.
Please drink responsibly.
Yeah. Please don't try before the end of the film because, yeah, by the halfway point, you will be quite drunk. I love this bit here where Beige just kind of goes, right, come on then, and shoots the door. It's just this. He's not so much a grumpy character as such. He just kind of goes with the flow and does what he needs to do, but at the same time doesn't take anyone's poodoo.
Death Star Blast takes, in this film, obviously it's only doing a city at a time, but I love the fact that it takes a couple of minutes to do the destination points, whereas in older ones...
Yeah.
I just think it's the fact you now see that it doesn't just have one blast, that it's going to take off another planet. If they want, they can lower the battery power on that. They can have a shot at this. Probably just take out a field if they wanted to.
Well, you actually see that in episode 6 when they're taking out the frigates, when they're taking out the medical frigate and some of the larger classes of ship, because if they'd used full power, they could have decimated the entire fleet.
It's an excellent point that I hadn't thought of, and now I'm regretting what I said. So thanks.
You're welcome.
I wonder if any of these made it out, because there are like X-wings and stuff like that nearby.
Yeah. No, there are Z95 headhunters. So when you look closely at the one in Jeddah itself, that's a Z95 headhunter because it's got a single S foil on the cannons on the top, and there's a chance for it to split and become, as we know, as X-wings. Same Incom did 2 ships, did the X-wing and the headhunter, same basic cockpit and wing layout, except with the X-wing it does have 4 wings instead of 2, and the cannons are I've got 4 on either side instead of, again, just the 2. Just kind of little bits there. But I love the U-wing. I love a lot of the architecture. They bring it from the X-wing, the Y-wing, and everything else to kind of create the U-wing on it.
When they go through the alphabet, they probably just go from A to Z and find out which one could work as their shape. It could be a C-wing from that point.
Yeah.
Especially where it's flying, definitely, George. I think if it's when it's coming down, it's an N-wing.
Yeah.
Going upwards, U-wing. Sends his wings backwards. I love this. Just the giving up the fact that, well, not giving up the fact he's reached the end of his journey. He's made that decision as well, and then he's not getting out of there without some dust on his jacket.
Yep. No, that's good. And again, I was agreeing with saying how they've got to input the coordinates into the Navi computer. Actually takes a little bit of time.
It doesn't until Cassian decides that, nope, not waiting. See ya.
How do people do this? I mean, do commentaries for a living in terms of when they get paid to do it? Because how they just not stop and watch the film, I have no idea. Because it's a very hard thing to do. I love the fact they just jump out in hyperspace there. It's just gone. It's brilliant. That shot is, again, incredible. Just that slow pan up to the Death Star there. And it's just
silence of when they all realise, oh shit, it worked.
Yep. George, language.
Oh yeah.
That's okay, George. We'll forgive you one. It's all right.
It's fine.
The group work meme.
Yep. Your favourite meme, of course. Well, our favourite meme.
I love this moment that now it's, it actually works.
It works, cool. It's mine now. Well, it's, again, if you read Catalyst, it's fine. He's not just taking control of someone else's work. He has put in a lot of the groundwork here that isn't explained in this film. But again, if you go back and read Catalyst and look at some of the other source material, you can find that out. But again, I love Krennic's reaction to this. It's just incredible.
As new characters go, I think Krennic is possibly one of my favourite introductions. He's played as such a devious character. I mean, not many characters would be able to stand toe-to-toe with, and actually stand looking Tarkin in the eyes and go, you know what, this is me, it's nothing to do with you. And it's not going to turn out well for him, unfortunately.
No.
I love the fact that he's still not scared to go for Tarkin too. Like
he's going to go. Yeah, he's going to go straight to Vader.
There was always rumours running. They said that Krennic was like meant to be a quick draw, like with a blaster, and obviously there was an image released of him with the gun up like that.
I love I love that shot from Yavin. It's just there's a lot of emotion involved in it, but to have that jungle shot is just so cool.
I know what you're saying, George. I mean, there's obviously the shots that you see in a lot of the making of where you see Krennic on the bridge as well with Vader. Whether that's on the Death Star or if that's later into the Battle of Scarif, obviously we don't know how much that story changed, but there's a shot and it looks, I just think there's so much more to this character that we probably would have gotten had they not decided a different way to go in the end. I don't know what you think of his overall characterization of the Krennic character.
I love what he's done with it. It's a very, very good character. It's also got a lot more depth to it than you'd expect from an Imperial officer. He actually has flaws and character. Krennic, Tarkin, Vader, the Emperor have all got character behind them because the weight of the actors that carry them, both Peter Cushing and Guy Henry in terms of Tarkin, not Monkey Eyes in terms of the Emperor, but they actually have depth to them, whereas some of the Imperials are lacking in that, which what I love about Thrawn, what we all love about Thrawn from Rebels, is that added depth of character. Because you get to see a lot of background when it comes to the Rebels, but with the Imperials, to have that depth and to have that kind of weight to it just gives it something extra. Either something to hate or something to admire. In my Thrawn, I actually admire a lot of what he does. His tactics are incredible. Maybe because I play a lot of strategy games, I like his strategy, but that's again goes slightly off topic there into Rebels more than Rogue One, but still Star Wars.
George, your thoughts on Krennic?
He is without doubt one of the best characters introduced in Rogue One. Everything about him, from being a slimy git that wants to do well, his gains of I'm going to get control of the station. Is the Emperor going to find out? He knows what he wants to do. And I love seeing his journey on screen because it's too easy to have I mean, he's very two-dimensional that he's a nasty villain, but here's a story arc. Not many villains would get that, especially for a spin-off film. So just seeing how he progresses and how he gets, kind of more. Actually, I can't use that word. Seeing as he gets more troubled, I think is maybe a better word to describe it with. As the film goes on, especially at the end when he says, all you've cost me is time, because he knows that he ain't going to get out of there alive. Yeah. And I would have loved to have seen one of the other endings for his character. But I do like the way he goes out, looking into his creation.
Yeah, his arrogance.
It's perfect. It's a perfect, literally, from that moment he sees it fired, thinking it's beautiful. And I think even when he's lying,
only a madman can see that much destruction and think it's beautiful.
But then that shot that is
from their view,
is looking back, even that shot that's going off that is going to kill him, I think he's still looking at that with a little bit of awe thing and added that. And that's amazing. And then
he got incinerated.
Yeah.
The thing is that we are talking over actually quite an important scene here where she's trying to convince everyone that we need to get back to the Alliance to deliver this message, and he goes, "Okay, where's the message?" About that, I haven't picked it up. To then have Cassian here, who's then going, "Okay, well, I don't believe you," and everyone else believing her is like, "Well, that's great." Again, something that's very pivotal because when his character changes after he sees what happens with Galen. Sorry, love this shot here of the Death Star, another angle to it that we haven't really seen before. Yes. As I said, you play a drinking game, how much time we say we love something, my God, I feel sorry for you the next day. Again, these shots like this is so cool, and ILM does a fantastic job. But yes, as I say, with Cassian's character coming up with what happens, to see that level of progression from I will do anything for the rebellion to what the hell do you think you're doing to I don't believe you to okay, maybe I am doing the wrong things for the right reasons to where we see him at the end. It's just this Diego Luna plays it absolutely perfectly.
From what I saw, I mean, I didn't know him from a lot. I mean, I'd seen him in the Terminal film with Tom Hanks. not much else, to be honest, until this movie. And he plays the part so well. He's such a good character. It's such a rounded out character as well.
Yeah.
You can see in him, when he announced that he'd been in the rebellion since he was 6, you can actually see that in the way he plays that and believe that he's gone through a lot. I mean, the fact you can shoot a guy in the back just to continue on his journey to make sure he did what the rebellion needed was great. And I don't know, I mean, this planet that we're on now,
Edu
that we're on, the fact we've got this rain-soaked planet, and I don't know about you guys, I just think this playing
There's
out
another
in the rain.
aspect to it, yeah.
Can I give you guys some breaking news Star Wars related?
Do it, man, do it.
They've done an update for Force Arena, and they've done 40th anniversary Luke and Vader cards.
They've done one for Galactic Heroes as well. I did a massive update for that as well. But yeah, sorry, back to our commentary here. One of the interesting things here is the fact that they have the practical shots mixed in with the CG when you have the Ewing flying in, and we have K2's percentages as kind of a throwback to Empire Strikes Back. Is it Empire Strikes Back? We have the Asteroid Trace with the odds of successfully flying through 3,720 to 1. Well, we have the percentage here with that as well. It's kind of that. That's how it should have been done there. Instead of C-3PO being all whiny to have K2 going, we're going to die, right? It's just that I love that aspect to it. I want to see a buddy comedy movie with C-3PO and K2SO because I thought that would be brilliant.
I love that in this scene now, what no one else is noticing while they're all talking about going to see what's going on.
Is he just building a sniper?
That K2SO is absolutely fully aware that he's putting his gun into sniper position, that he says in a little bit. Yeah. And it's just the fact that you can see all these characters taking on. I mean, Donnie Yen sitting there, thoughtful, and it's a throwaway shot that he's just sat there looking. But the fact he's taking in so much about the Cassian character while he's doing that is
it's something that Gareth Edwards has done. He makes every throwaway shot something important, so that when you add it all up, the little bits become one huge picture. Yeah, again, this bit here is kind of cool where it's just that, that throwaway shot now becomes important because it seems like, he's a creature's about to kill. And then, K2SO, his weapon was in the sniper configuration. Like, it's kind of like, duh, did you not see him kind of assembling it? I do like how no one really noticed it except K2SO there, how he just go, I'm just going to extend this, put my scope on, it's all cool.
The 40th anniversary Vader is the original concept art, and Luke is as well, from Ralph McQuarrie, Force Arena.
Oh, awesome. That's an absolutely awesome addition. The fact those costumes look incredible. The Vader mask on that on the Ralph McQuarrie version, and it's so much scarier and pointier, and I much prefer that over the concept one over the actual helmet they designed.
It is.
I love how it ended up in Rebels as well.
Indeed. Apologies for those who are watching in the future who aren't playing that game. This is what we do if you watch our main shows. We have breaking news interrupting it all the time. It's just something usual. So for those of you who are keeping this for just commentary in the future, we do apologise, but at the same time, no, we're not sorry. Just go back and watch our shows. We're awesome. Anyway, let's get back to this.
Shot here in the rain. I love this part where he's going out.
So I feel sorry for anyone who's playing the I love drinking game going on this. It's just oh dear. Anyway, sorry, continue, Dave.
That fact that he says he doesn't need luck, and that look of Baze in his eyes, just like, oh yeah, okay, I'm coming. Yeah. He's obviously they play such a good double act. I don't know if they've been in many movies together.
No, they haven't.
Over time, I don't know if they. I think they have worked together. I think it says in one of the making ofs that they have done a movie together. I'm not sure how long ago that was, but they play off each other so well.
I'm so much looking forward to reading the book. I want more of them. I just want lots more.
I think we might in the expanded universe. I'm really hoping we get the two of them, at least one of them in Battlefront as well this year, because they've already kind of.
I want Baze's gun because that'd be incredible.
What I love here is that you get the one of the best songs in the soundtrack of the starts about now. Conversation that you do.
Yeah.
It's stunning. It's about 8 minutes long, but it's some of the most stunning songs.
I do love it. Again, Galen looking like he's wearing pajamas here. I do quite like that. Again, it's that green and grainy texture to the macro binoculars that just helps sell it all. And then, yes, the shuttle going over the top. I can't remember the exact name. George, have you got it in there, the visual dictionary of the actual name of the shuttle?
Yeah, I'll get it for you.
Cool, because I can't remember. It's bugging me.
Give me 1 second. I've got it here. It's the KRENNIC Mobile.
I would slap you if I could, and then I'd say there's a fresh one of those if you mouth off again.
No, that is absolutely what it should be called. I now will recall that.
I love the way he walks here as well.
The interesting thing is, if anyone out there plays X-Wing, if you fly the Lander shuttle or indeed Kylo Ren shuttle with Palpatine inside, everyone just knows it as the Palpmobile. It's brilliant.
I just think the way he approached Krennic there, he absolutely knows at this point that he's about to be rumbled for what they think he's done.
He just hopes that his message has got out. He hopes that he's done the right thing.
I wonder why they must not have. So I was just about to say, George. Yeah, the scientists. I love the fact they've got them, and the fact that they've thought we could have had this in probably one of the nice conference rooms that we've got downstairs. Let's get them outside in the rain. It's just they look so bemused, and I mean they've probably been called in as we need some old extras who are going to stand in. We just need to look confused for a little while.
Yeah,
but that look on Galen's face, that he's going to jump in.
Yeah,
and Diego Luna's decision that he has to make: should he shoot him in the head? Or should he leave him? And
he should have shot Krennic. But Death Troopers looking more and more awesome here.
I love that he sounds like Ham out of Toy Story during this scene. When he's like, there.
Yep.
Oh.
Love it. Absolutely love it. He's just ruthless.
Yeah. And let's just say, when he said fire, his droids are not droids. They're not droids. That was a 5-year-old who thought that there were droids in there.
Yeah,
they're really slow to fire. It's just there's moments. Look,
the cinematography is incredible.
What a dude! It's just you kind of get caught up doing this, and it's the first time I kind of watched it and tried to talk through it as well. And you're right, you do get kind of caught up in the actual film again. And even though we haven't got really the sound on, but there are just so many shots in this that are absolutely stunning.
The one good thing is though that because we've seen this film between us probably 70, 80 times, we know the music, so we don't have to talk about too much. We don't have to listen to it to kind of tell you guys about the music, because we do know it and we do love it, because Michael Giacchino does an incredible job with this. But yes, this bit here of Krennic effectively slapping Gale in the face, but with not physically, but with the I've won here. He does physical stuff, but it's the the emotional stuff of I've won. I know what you've done, but it's too late. It's worked.
I just feel sorry for those poor stormtroopers who are just on the day job that Jin just threw down the chasm.
I must actually, another interesting point here is the fact, again, I talk about the architecture a lot in this, of the designs of things, but the costumes also throw back to Return of the Jedi here, with those hats with the goggles and the ridges along the top. Kind of reminds me of the Endor Rebel troopers as well. Again, here, this is what I was talking about, the emotional slaps the face of it's worked. Don't care if you've sent out your message, not going to do much. You know.
There's just this. I love one of the things I love about some of these scenes in Yavin are the mustaches on some of these guys. They said that they one of the commentary, not the commentaries, the making ofs, that they got guys who were around about their 40s to play 30s, because people just looked older back in the 70s. And they're right, it looks. This could be us.
What Biggs in his 70s porn stash is just incredible.
I love the shot of Donnie standing there. Like,
isn't that the droid you're talking about, George? Isn't that the droid? Is that the astromech you were talking about there, though, in the X-Wing?
No. The astromech didn't board the ships. It's got an R2 helmet. Okay. DJI astromech.
Fair enough.
What happened is all the astromechs got scanned on set. I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah.
And then Lucasfilm would do with them how they please. So name-wise, they were able to rename any of them if they wanted to.
Yeah.
A couple of them said R2BHD is one that I'm very aware of. Which
I love the Wyman bombs. They're just so cool.
I love this, seeing them like shitting themselves. That's like the old Battlefront games. It reminds me of running around in the hangar.
Again, George, language. Yeah. Turbo lasers here. Just a single turbo laser, just incredible. Absolutely.
I didn't swear then.
Yes, you did.
No, they didn't.
I thought you did.
He didn't. Hearing things.
He wants to swear inside.
But I mean, this now we're about to get. I mean, what's the powerful thing about this moment is that literally this is it's basically the rebels who've killed our dad. This wasn't the Empire. This isn't the work of the bad guy. And sorry, just 1 second while
Chirrut being badass
breathes into his hand and then can take down a TIE fighter.
There we go. But the fact he nails it and it crashes straight into the turbo laser, he just knows exactly what he's doing. It's perfect. I love it. He may not be a Jedi, but the fact to have a kind of Force user there is just, again, it adds more background to the Star Wars universe of what they've talked about in the books and the comics, where you have Force users that aren't, Force sensitives who aren't necessarily Jedi, Sith, or Grey Jedi. To have that expanded on and to have almost like a religion with Guiding the Wheels put into it, it's just kind of cool to, again, have all things stitched together. This is one of the coolest things. We had the sizzle reel, actually, when you had that bit of them filming Jin being blasted in the face with the rain and the wind. Yeah, I liked it.
How nice that shit is.
I know, it's cool. I was asking what the make and model was because I can't remember off the top of my head.
AREN and IC reveal.
We're sticking with it, and that's now its name.
Yeah.
I will meet Pablo and change the canon.
Well, he's managed to make a T-shirt gun cannon, so you never know.
That if that comes out in Battlefront and it does fire T-shirts only, I want no lasers coming out of it, just T-shirts to come out.
I'm convinced that it will end up on Battlefront.
Yep.
Oh, I've got no doubt about it. As soon as it was said, and they went, "Oh, come on, Battlefront," they'd be like, "Right, get that design now for an extra weapon."
But anyway, we're talking about actually a very important. Yeah, I like it. I like Mads Mikkelsen anyway as an actor, but to play a death but not overdo it, and to have this interaction with Felicity Jones, and even her, again, we mock her prices, but her acting we can't mock because it's faultless. To have this scene here is very powerful, and I like that she's angry. She's just angry at the Alliance. She's angry at life, angry at everything. This is the all is lost moment in this film. But the way she bounces back from it with anger and with determination, she could have gone one way or the other. She could have just lost it completely.
Man down.
Man
George
down
is
here.
getting very emotionally invested in this.
But yeah, so to have the point here of her going one way or the other between just pure anger. Yeah, I love Basic. Right, I'm just going to nail everyone. No, to have that scene there of which way she could go, but choosing the path of the light and choosing the path of I'm going to take my revenge on the Empire and help the Alliance. This is her bit where she chooses what side she's on.
And we have the full transformation of
Bodhi Rook.
Bodhi into the rebel.
Yes. So you're a rebel now. Love that line. I love the shot here. I guess I feel so sorry for anyone playing on the I Love Drinking game because you are destroyed by this point. I make no apologies. I just feel sorry for you. Again,
now that we're kind of getting into the main crux of our story, we're going to go to Yavin. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Have we got Mustafar next, or is it Yavin?
We have the dad dying, and then it's Mustafar.
Yeah, Mustafar
next. That is seeing that maybe there might be some science to it because it's Vader, and let's just bow down before the man.
Yeah, to be fair, though, actually, between you have this very important scene here between Felicity Jones and Diego Luna, and here with Donnie Yen just go, no, don't beat the crap out of him. We want you to, but it won't happen. She needs to take her anger out somewhere, and partly, yes, Cassian knows what he's done, but he also lets her let out her aggression. It's something that you have to pay very close attention to see how he's trying he's trying to deflect it off and go, not take the blame for it, but he's letting her vent at the same time. It's very well done. I have a lot of respect for Diego Luna after watching this because I hadn't seen him in anything else, but now I want to see him in more things just because I love what he does with this job.
He has been cast in the Scarface remake.
In the what remake, sorry?
Has he?
Scarface remake, yeah.
Oh, fair play. That's a film that does not need remaking, but that's
there's that argument there.
Round 3.
Yeah, it's a rant for a very different day. The Alliance bombs that bit there, where she talked about the Y-wings and everything else. He's going, look, I kind of did disobey my orders there. It's like, yeah, the one good point is him not killing someone. Again, it's hard not to get, as I say, not to get caught up in these things, but suddenly the rebellion is real for you. Is that actually, although he's saying here that he's been in the fight since he was 6 years old, you can believe it there. She's been in this fight longer than he realizes, but it's
he's
just
a bit more official in it. Yeah, he's
yes.
To be honest, I think he's probably been out on the fact he's so grizzled. I think he's probably killed a lot more people than he would ever let on. And the fact the rebellion seem to tell him whenever they're going on missions, right, we need you to kill this guy or kill that guy. It's he seems to be like their muscle, really, that they'd send out on these missions where they want someone brought down. I mean, he's a sniper, so it's...
Oh, yeah, no, if it hadn't been for the ending of Rogue One, he probably would have been sent out to help Obi-Wan get Princess Leia and get the plans and everything else. This would have been the crew. If the ending hadn't been how it was, it would have been the crew that would have sent out. But yes, now we have Mustafar. It's the one planet that doesn't get named.
Cinema, this was incredible.
Oh, it was. The Vader's castle right here is just beautiful. I love this shot.
Does anyone think we can get back to it in a future film?
Oh God, yes, I hope so. I want Adam Driver, I want Kylo Ren to take over Vader's castle because that would be perfect.
I do love the fact that of all the planets that got named, Mustafar didn't. Like it didn't
need it though.
I think that was the surprise for some that when you first saw the lava, you're like, do you really think they've done it?
Yeah.
The fact that this bit here is designed to look like Vader's breathing apparatus is really cool. The doors there. Why are there only royal guards for him here on Mustafar and not anywhere else? I'll never know, but
I'm thinking it's because he's probably the most vulnerable at this point now. He's in a back tank. Yeah. Anyone else gets in there, he hasn't got much chance of doing anything.
Yeah.
And this is the one moment where I wish they'd got Hayden Christensen back into the mix a bit sooner than they brought him in Celebration, because I would have loved just even for a brief second
just to see
that to be him.
Yeah.
In that tank.
But yeah, they
tied it in so nice.
They always, as I want to talk a lot about the architecture because I do quite like the design of things. The brutal nature of that here is just incredible.
It's the shadow. This is one of the best shots.
Yeah, because I was going to say, George, thoughts on the shadow?
Easily, without doubt.
Darth Vader theme playing,
showing his power, his size, all of it. Beautiful.
Is that towering over? Credit to the fact that shadow goes half through the wall. You're right. It says absolutely everything about the character in just a shadow.
And it's the first time you see Krennic kind of vulnerable too.
Yep. Well, everyone's scared of Vader. The red lens is a throwback to A New Hope. And of course, finally we have James Earl Jones coming back to film with Vader.
You can obviously, in the sound of his voice, you can tell that it's an older James Earl Jones.
I don't care.
But the fact it's James Earl Jones just makes the character much more whole than it being someone else doing the voice.
Yeah. Such remarkable potential. We can't help but stop here just because Vader. That's the problem with Darth Vader. You get drawn into it. As a kid, he was my favorite villain of all time. Luke was my favorite hero of all time, and that hasn't changed. Not one iota with Vader here because you just can't help but stop. And Gareth Edwards said it in one of the behind the scenes videos, and I have to agree. Where he goes, once you have Vader, you just want more of him. You have to be careful how you use him. And I completely agree because I want more of Vader from this point in than we actually get. Although it's just. I love how they use him. Again, here, the pointing that kind of reminds me of, you're a part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor, take her away. That kind of shot there. I love that to pieces. And George, here, one of my favorite lines.
What do you think on the pun, George? What's your thoughts?
I love it. Well, I don't understand why people didn't like the pun. Like, it's great.
Vader makes puns in episode 4. Vader makes puns a lot. It's part
exactly.
It's also Anakin makes puns as well. If you watch back through the Clone Wars, it's just yep. It's perfect. One of those things with Vader, it would be hard. It's a hard job to direct because you could either overutilize him, underutilize him, or you could get the character wrong. You could just have it as someone who was just there instead of being imposing. And he managed to shoot it imposing. He shoots. Gareth Edwards shoots it a lot, looking up at the character, so you get this imposing nature on you. It's just done beautifully.
I can't wait to see, hopefully, a lot of these guys in season 4 Rebels, because they already have them now, so it makes sense to have the senators there.
Yeah.
You would definitely think we'll see quite a few of these at PM. Definitely, I mean, we know Dodonna's already there.
Yeah.
We know
I want to see more of Bistan because I like Bistan.
And don't get me wrong, I just want to see more of Radis.
Yes.
Give me as much Radis as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one shot that we saw in the trailer where they had the hologram of the Death Star.
Yes.
Was in the promotional material that was above there, which I kind of like. To be honest, I kind of like that it's not there.
No, because at that point they don't know what they're coming up against.
And they don't know the Death Star. Well, it's just been confirmed as well. It would make sense to know.
For them to have a full schematic. We've actually got this rendition that an artist did.
We've got the plans already, guys.
Who knew? They were in a draw over there. But yeah, I mean, it's...
you say that did kind of happen with episode 7 with R2 in the corner with the rest of the map. So you say that, but they have done that in Star Wars.
He didn't have all of it. It's fine. It's okay.
No, he just had 90% of it. That's a different...
It's one thing to enjoy. It's a Star Wars plot hole. They get filled by other movies, like this fills a New Hope's plot hole.
40 years later.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
The largest budget ever to fill a plot hole is brilliant. I love it. But at the same time, though, it's not just filling a plot hole. Actually, it's giving us so much more background than we had before. And so much more characters and so much more love for the franchise. And they could have screwed this up, but they didn't.
It was a worry when this came
out.
Again,
just a throwback. The rebellions are built on hope. Again, a throwback to what they've said earlier in the film. They're starting to kind of come together now. Sorry, Dave, I've interrupted.
No, it's fine. It's just saying, I mean, for this to be 2 lines of the opening crawl, for this movie to come out of it, it could have been, and let's not get it wrong, before I went into the cinema, I was quite in the thought that it could have gone either way. It could have been, it probably would have been, it's Star Wars, so I would have been like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. For it to be what it is, it's an exceptional movie.
We're going to see there we go, General Syndulla.
That's an awesome callback.
And this is obviously where we got that famous first image from all this, which felt like an eternity ago now.
It's this scene of the coming together. This now. I mean, I've said it a couple of times already, but this is where it starts really ramping up. We get off here and we hit the Scarif, and then it's all out action until we hit the finale, and it's literally to the credits. And
I love Pal in the back. Again, a character I want to see more of is Pal.
It's just this gang of rebels who have said, yeah, you know what, we agree with your point on this, and yeah, we're absolutely ready to go and fight. And also, I love the line from K2SO at the end of it.
Yeah. So I'll be there for you, Jen. Yay, Cassian said I had to. Oh, you just sass. But it's not just such brutal honesty.
Well, the only thing bad about him is when he says, I'll be there for you. The only thing I think of is the Friends theme every time he says it. It kind of takes me out of the mood for just a few seconds. Go, oh, sorry, it's...
Yeah, wrong franchise. Yeah, but then here, referencing all the things he's done, and you think about him shooting the guy in the back, him trying to take out Galen. It's just these slow realizations, the character development. Why I like Diego Luna in this role.
I think with this, it's a very clever way of writing out all of the bad things the Rebellion do before A New Hope starts. So here's all the dodgy guys that we'd send on dodgy missions. We can look at these so that we've now got a bad image for the next 3 films.
Exactly, yeah. All the bad ones, they were all on Scarif. Don't worry, we've only got the nice guys left who wouldn't go.
It's what I mentioned earlier, though, with the fact that it's nice to see that side of the Rebellion, because they are, in effect, a terrorist organization in the eyes of the Empire. We love them as the freedom fighters, but sorry, our favorite line from K2. So there we go. Cassius said I had to, of course, no. To see it see them not so shimmery and bright is good, though. It shows them in a different light. Because again, Rebels are kind of celebrated, but to see Rogue One, to see the controversy, I like it because it gives them a more human appeal. I believe, in my opinion, it gives it a more rounded look at it.
And I mean, I don't know what anybody else's thoughts are, George. I mean, at the start of this here. Yeah. That look between Cassian and Jyn, I did fear for a romantic storyline to go with him. I don't know what you thought, George.
No, I didn't want romantic entanglement.
I didn't think they'd do it, and especially knowing they died, it made it a lot easier. They didn't do it because it would have just been too, not boring, but the film doesn't suit it. This is essentially a war film, so there was no need for the healthy relationship. If that makes any sense.
Yes.
No, absolutely, I get it. Yeah.
It slowly not builds towards it, but at the end, it's kind of maybe there would have been something, but they're together in death. I think that's the point.
I know. Yeah, I know when they're going down in the lift after Krennic's when they've shot Krennic and left him for dead. There is that moment in the lift when they're coming down where they are so close. It looks like it's gonna be we're gonna get a kiss out of this, and the fact it doesn't come, I think, makes them much stronger. That they didn't go.
I
down
love this bit here. So there is the Rogue One. Well, there is now. Yes, the start of Rogue Squadron. Again, so cool to have that throwback, and of course, working the title into the film, and those shots of Yavin. Just that again, the architecture there is just incredible. That's
I like the guy in the nest who's not ready. The guy in the nest who's not ready for them. Going, oh, I missed that.
That's the executive producer.
What does he do? That guy in the tower.
I think he's actually one of those guys who's got a speed gun. He just gives out tickets on Yavin.
Now, sorry, we have to just mention this bit here between Mon Mothma and Bail Organa talking about getting Obi-Wan. It's such a powerful scene. Even though it could be a throwaway, but you need someone you can trust. So I would trust her with my life.
And Captain Antilles is through the door.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's a very emotional scene. Even that could be throwaway. It's so emotional because that's the last we see of Organa. We know exactly what happens next. Although if you didn't know, if you're watching this, if you didn't know, there is actually a sequel for this film. It's called Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. If you haven't seen it, I urge you to go and watch it.
I just think that fact that we got that didn't actually name Obi-Wan as well. I like the fact it was just kept that. It probably is the fact that she has she may not know which Jedi is alive.
Yeah,
but they do. She knows that there is one.
Yeah,
and there's one out there. So Kane and Ezra, they're dead. Hopefully,
hopefully, yes.
We'll find out soon.
We really will. I mean, Rebels is sneaking up on us so fast, and we're just talking over this bit. I mean, we're just heading to the Shield Gate. There's not a great deal going on. Don't worry. But yes, I mean, we've got.
I have
many
one
places to go.
small complaint with this, with the fact that he's. Here you go. The cargo shuttle SW0608. I wanted it to be SW1977.
That would have been too much nose.
I think it would have been right in your face. Yeah.
Yeah, but it would have been cool though. Or they could have had THX1138.
I was going to say 1138 could have worked because they've always got the references in that one.
There's not one in this
film. They do that at the start, don't they?
No, there isn't a reference to THX1138 in Rogue One.
I thought it was. I thought it was the prison at the first scene.
No, that's 227 something. 2272.
That did actually, it did come up with the subtitles.
I think there isn't even a reference in Force Awakens and TFA. I don't think they have a reference there either. I think it's only in George Lucas directed films he puts it in.
Hopefully, it'll be one in Lasties.
Hashtag Lasties.
I mean, Scarif, to get into it now, I mean, as we're going down and landing, the fact I know when I first saw some of the promotion material and you saw them in this lovely, idyllic holiday destination, I thought, that's a bit really world for me. But the moment I saw it completely felt the Star Wars again to me. It's like, actually, no, that really, really works. I know, George, your thoughts?
Well, obviously, we were all at the panel when they did I really wanted to film the Maldives, so we just went there and did it anyway. When you first see Scarif, it's so different that it works as Star Wars. Like, it's essentially a water planet with the odd jungle on, and it's a perfect place to build their rebel base. I think it's in the Outer Rim, they've said, makes it further away, but it's something new. And it's not a problem as such, but if you look at the Star Wars films, Episode 4 has got a sand planet, Episode 5 has a cold planet, a planet in the clouds, Episode 6 it's Endor, a planet in the forest, Episode 1. Sand planet again, Tatooine. You got a lovely planet, Naboo. Every planet, like Geonosis, is a desert planet, and I get the whole planet's meant to be the same, but it was so nicely scoured. To see a little bit of difference because it's a jungle water planet.
It's proof that hell can come to heaven. That's one of the cool things there. This scene here, I also love because she's talking about in very real terms. As they go, what's the plan? It's like, well, we are going to get down there. We'll go and nick the plans and get out of there. But it's a very realistic look. We don't know how far we'll get. We don't know if we'll win. We know we probably won't get out, but we'll do our best because we know that if we don't, no one else will, and it could be, bad news for everyone. And the fact that she does it in very strict, defined terms of we will do what we can, we'll use our chances. It's quite powerful because you can see everyone there. It's like we know what we signed up for. We know it's a suicide mission. We know we probably won't get out, but we need to do. We must. It's very D-Day-ish, and it's what Gareth Edwards wanted was that D-Day feel to it. And the fact again, that's why I was saying it's hell coming to heaven is that the beaches of Normandy are usually quite a picturesque place, but on 6th of June 1944, they were literally turned into hell, and that's what he's done with this as well. And it's very much a war film in space. They do such a good job with it. I really admire what he's done with this film. Again, looking at the points here, talking about, as I say, I know I've been talking about the architecture a lot in this, but the design of just the costumes here, because you don't see these people in 4, 5, or 6, but the costumes don't look out of place. And that's one of the things I was worried about was how they're going to stitch it together, but nothing looks out of place. It looks. I've seen some complaints. People say that it just jars, but I think the costumes and I think some of the designs just meld very well. And what do you guys think on how that kind of works between the two of them?
Well, what with the costumes or the architecture?
Both.
Right, the architecture I like because if you think back, the originally said there was going to be we've got the Citadel Tower and then we've got the what was the transmission tower on top. Originally, the transmission theme was going to be its own building, and the Citadel was going to be another. So I feel in post they edited the original designs to make 2 locations into one. So I don't mind it, but because it looks so CGI compared to the other parts of, most places in the see there it's like one story, then suddenly you get the tower at the end. I'm interested to see how it would have looked on that original cut. But the costumes, they just look Star Wars. I don't think it's something you can get wrong. It's more the guerrilla uniform to match the sort of jungle occasion. There's whether they've got different costumes for each planet they're going to go to. They just do a quick Google before, check what the weather conditions are, and then pick their costumes to see what they're going to do.
I do think it's an excellent job that the Empire sent out 2 people who were literally the right size of Jin and Cassian.
Oh yeah,
as their costumes
that just happens.
Are made to measure.
Yeah, it's film logic for you. It just happens. I like Power. I want to see more of Power.
And it was the guy who led them out as well. He led the troopers to the ship, and he's still the guy waiting to let them back in, and has not noticed a different guy has come out.
That's more than that's a very much more than my job's worth bit there.
And I love the cutting off of the line here where he starts to say, I have a bad feeling, and then just gets...
Yeah.
And I love that we then get transported to the tube station in London.
Yeah, to Canary Wharf.
It's nice that they do have a nice moving subway system.
Yeah. I've been to that tube station many, many times. So it's interesting the fact that you can go to a Star Wars location every day of your life if you want to.
I love this version of the theme of Krennic. Why is it the album?
Well, the interesting thing is, if you see this from above, the actual waterfalls and everything else makes up the Imperial logo. If you see it from above, it actually makes up the Galactic Empire symbol.
I wonder how long it took them to build, to sort of build into the planet.
Yeah. I also like this bit of K2 where he's just like, well, I'm sure there's a map lying around, and just like, well, you know what you have to do. It's like, instead of that being the film logic of how they get a map, they actually go and find a map. Here we go. Yes, this is Canary Wharf in London. For those of you out there who don't actually know, it was filmed in one night in a tube station.
It's really obvious.
It's to us here, they've decorated it really well, so it doesn't but it still looks very really world when you see that. And I guess it's, again, I've been there.
That's a good thing, though. To be fair, it's good that it looks very real world. In fact, that it doesn't take you out of it. It makes you believe more. And that's my opinion anyway. You may not agree with me on that one, but I think it kind of adds to the aesthetic.
The fact I've been there, it makes me feel like,
the T-15s! I love that. Just throwbacks there, yes! Again, here, the actual smashing of the lenses, as I was pointing out earlier, this is the only film where, so far, that you actually see lenses on stormtroopers and clone troopers, whatever, actually be physically smashed.
And that was David Collins and Sam Witwer as those two stormtroopers discussing the T-15s.
Yes.
Obviously, a couple of days later, for A New Hope, other soldiers discussed them.
It's a lovely little thread that they put in. Apparently, they just put it in post, and then it had to go off to be signed off. Like, that's fine. You can leave that comment in. Look at that. Look that shot of that cloak.
Just awesome. This is the thing we're discussing. Is he a secondary or primary character in terms of the Empire? I think he's primary. I think he's bad.
He's a big deal. He's a big deal. Definitely. I mean, the fact that he's built the Death Star, they're all aware of him.
Yeah.
And what I do really like is that obviously these guys on Scarif are pretty lazy guys. They don't want to do much. Like, I want the files on Janir, so all of them, like, yes, that's what I just asked you for. Like, come on, I'm going home. I'm going on holiday this weekend.
Yeah. Where would you go on holiday to?
Do you think they were stationed on Scarif, or do you think
there's a garrison. As you've seen, there's like, are we blind?
Just, you never know. Like, you've got family.
Well, actually, tell you what, one thing it does.
I would think family off planets, because I don't think you'd want them on an Imperial world. That's got to be protected by a shield.
One thing that does bug me with this scene and this part of the film is the fact that every single other trooper has their visor down and she doesn't, and no one picks up on it. We know it's her, so why did she have to have the visor up?
It's definitely a director-actress moment where I don't want this shut all the time. We need to see that it's her.
Yeah, I know, but
I can't see it.
It does bug me slightly.
This is awesome that they just.
I must admit, I love the line of
it's the shot of Krennic just like looking over the battlefield, like
no one else is reacting at all.
It's like, are we blind? Deploy the garrison.
He's just literally there, like, well, I'm done.
But then the Death Star klaxon goes off. With the Imperial warning klaxon, which actually is my text tone and my alarm, because that thing wakes you up.
Thrilling music playing.
Yes.
Thrilling music is playing. They are correct.
The shore troopers was like, yeah, we don't have much. Oh, we're firestorm troopers. Like, oh, really? I'm in a hot planet. I have this.
Back to London.
Yeah, back to London.
There's that weird guy from that terrible duo of singers, rappers. I got the name ready.
I know who you mean, but I can't even think of it.
But he's just going, very D-Day-ish here with.
They should never have got out. Like,
no.
If they had sabotaged that door properly, they would have never have got out.
No.
But they needed them out.
But they would have then trapped all stormtroopers inside with Jyn and Cassian.
That is just perfection for the shot in A New Hope of that screen. That point where Tarkin is standing gives you, if that doesn't give you chills watching this, thinking this is where it's going in A New Hope, he's going to be.
It's also the only time that the Death Star's ever referred to by having a hyperdrive in the films.
It makes sense.
I love that. I love the call for let's get and inform Lord Vader. It's like, now trouble's coming.
Yeah, that's a little dog. Bye bye.
Chopper cameo coming up.
Yep, Chopper cameo.
Yes, he has.
Oh, yep. Here we go. Senator. Chopper.
There's Chopper in the background there.
We do love it. I like the fact that it's the one from the from Rebels Recon. So the fact that Andy gets really happy. The fact that it's now a screen used prop.
He seems to have been done up a little bit. Like he's been dirtied up, and some of his lights a little better. Because on the Star Wars show, if people have seen him, he does look like something someone's put together. But he looks like he looks like a real one of the droids. Yeah.
Chopper's an interesting character because obviously he's based off the original R2 concept art. What actually happened was before he was animated, they actually built the droid. That droid there,
right?
That was built before he was on an animation.
I did not know that.
That's cool. Awesome fact.
And then they inspired the animators to build off that. So that Chopper's genuinely been about for quite a few years now, and
I love the line here, the "May the Force be with you" line. First time I say, and R2 and 3PO fight. That cameo just makes it so cool.
It's a nice thing to drop in. To be honest, it was one of those ones that, of course they're in it because they would be there.
There's a throwaway, but actually it needs to be there because you need to know with Captain Antilles.
But the problem is what Admiral Radis is already gone, and the Tantine is on Admiral Radis' ship. So the real question is, how did
they get there?
No, because Captain Antilles is. You can hear the background say, "Captain Antilles, we need you to go." That means the Tantive goes and meets up with the fleet at some point.
He just hides in the ship because he
Just hides in it, yeah.
Something like that.
Like Obi-Wan, yeah. Like pulls the door behind, he's just in there. I do like this that they don't recognize that they don't have transmission points from each thing. So when the same radio channel comes over telling them they're a different pad, they have no idea that they're not a different pad.
They're too busy kind of trying to go, hang on a second, there's loads of people, we're going to die, what the hell?
Now, we're going to get to a point soon where we're going to start losing our characters.
And I need to quickly take the dogs out, so I'll be back before that happens.
Okay, George, we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at this point, I mean, I was still hopeful when I watched this.
Oh, the AT-ACTs.
That everyone was
coming through. Yeah,
that at least some people would make it out. I still thought
I wanted everyone to die. I was hoping they would, and I'm glad that it happened.
Don't get us wrong. I think it was a good point that they probably would all die, but at this point I thought, we've
Carabast, AT-AT. I love the pose as Carabast as well. Throwback to Zeb is brilliant. But to have the AT-ACTs in this is brilliant. To have, although the interesting thing is though, when you watch episode 5, when you see those feet going down, people are just flying everywhere, and now they're not. I know when they get the shot, everyone flies everywhere, now then they're not. It's just a bit of an inconsistency, but here we go. The shot of the Imperial Rebel fleet coming out of hyperspace. Gold leader and red leader. Yes.
Some of these shots were in. I mean, literally, some of these shots were in Star Wars. And it's just an amazing thing to see that it cuts in so well. Now, this, I mean, in Force Awakens is probably one of the biggest gripes that I had, that we didn't get a big battle in space, and I did miss it from the film. We got them in space.
We get one for lasties, so we're fine.
This is absolutely incredible. This is up there with the Return of the Jedi space battle for me.
Oh yeah.
Just the amount of TIE fighters that get launched, and look at this. It's just that shot. That shot is
so episode 4.
Face on in the cockpit. Just superb.
Which is the shot of also them banking in, the slow barrel bank in is just, again, so episode 4. I thought you see them roaring past. It's like, quickly, shut the door, come on.
They built this environment.
Sorry, George, go. George Lucas will always say that the original footage from episode 4 has been destroyed, or it's degraded. We don't have it anymore. But they got episode 4 footage, deleted scenes at that for this film, which means the footage is there.
Oh, it's absolutely there, definitely. I still love that story that George will not give them an original print to the
he believes the 97
the guys who save the films and the big vault that they have with all the movies in.
Yeah.
This is where it started to get all sad. It just when K2SO
this is where it starts to get awesome though, in terms of they're saying how to beam the transmission up and everything. It's just that those little plot points that you get picked up in episode 4.
Once K2SO got shot for the first time, you realized K2 wasn't going to make it. That's when I started to realize no one's getting out of here.
If they're going to kill the droid, they're going to kill all the humans. I think that's the
you can't just kill the droid. That's just unfair.
Except if it was AP5, in which case we're all happy with that, yes.
You can't even die in the airlock in space. That's how depressing it is.
He just stopped singing, crying out loud.
Oh, I love Jin's costume because obviously when we first saw it in the trailers, and you had no idea that it was just literally someone who guides the ships in.
It looked more badass.
With them in the back, I didn't know if there was some kind of lightsaber. Fellow young Anakin there, but I love the costume. And look at this shot. I mean, AT-ACTs walking across a beach.
I tell you what, I changed my opinion. I've just seen someone get flown up from the cannons there from the AT-ACT.
It depends. Various times the shots must be less powerful sometimes.
It must depend on the surface as well, the impact of where it's hitting. But okay, fair play. I didn't spot that before, but dunk. And then
I think this was the original. I think this was his original death.
Where they went.
Yeah.
This.
It makes sense from where that shot, that waiting for that shot to come across and just looking up, and then you would expect the fire to go off, and all right, there we've lost the first character.
Yeah. What I like about this, though, it reminds me very much of a war film. We have like Spitfires going overhead. and you just have that them coming and saving the day, everyone's cheering, and yeah, it's very reminiscent. That's what Lucas wanted originally for the dogfights, but to have it even more imposed here is just brilliant.
That smile that you see on that X-Wing pilot just before looks like that was not in the film. That looks like a cut of somebody who's gone inside a ship and gone, "This is amazing."
That is. It's from the sizzle reel. If you
that.
actually watch it, it's from the sizzle reel when he first gets in. Again, here they go. Oh, now we have to get out of here. Now we're gonna die. Hammerhead corvettes, and of course the Ghost that doesn't actually fire a single shot. If you watch it, it's actually useless.
Maybe because their gunners have died already.
Oh yes,
True point.
I'd love to
Look. There we go. That's what I was talking about. That's the banking into it. Here is just. There we go. There you go. That's an R2. Is that the one you're referring to, George?
No.
Damn it.
The fact we got the Ghost in it, the one thing I wish we'd got is they could have put someone in makeup, they could have CG'd it. I would have loved to have just seen Hera at the controls. I don't need anything else. But the fact we know she's there, they've named her. I mean, it probably would have been, I guess it would have taken people out a little bit if they had no idea who she was.
I like how she's not put in it. Bistan here, awesome. Space Monkey, but we do
that armor is not too strong for blasters.
No.
Even the creatures died.
Yeah.
they took out everybody. There is no good ending for anybody in this movie.
No.
No. Did Blue Squadron make it to Return of the Jedi?
No.
But they never
didn't make it to. They didn't even make it to A New Hope.
That's the point. Is that they left them dead. It's almost like the sacrifice, because technically Rogue Squadron are dead, but they brought them back for Hoth. But,
but Red Leader gets out of there because he's
Red Leader gets out. We have a Blue Squadron don't. Blue Squadron get decimated. Red 5 gets killed because they needed the space for loot.
That is actually that made me smile so much in the cinema when it happened, when it was Red 5 and then he's gone, like, oh, okay, I know who's next Red 5 is.
Well, yeah. They went over there. There's one. I love that. He's like, then I'm gonna buy it. And just starts throwing Stormtrooper around. It's brilliant. K2SO just, I have a lot of time for this character.
I do hope we see more of him. I was certainly going to see more of the Imperial droid, but I'm hoping we do get some more K2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I think they've got that. As I said, I know we've covered in our commentaries, but in Rebels, if they'd seen the model bit and they knew when their episode was going to air, the droid that they send out to scan, they would have based off the K2 model. But I do think we'll end up seeing more of him in Rebels, definitely.
I hope so. But here also you have the line of, we're starting an attack, right? And keep tight, watch those towers. Those lines, just the stock audio from 4. It just, it warmed my heart when I was in the cinema watching that for the very first time. And
the amount of TIE fighters that launched from that is
incredible.
Quite incredible, yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be in Battlefront 2, they confirmed. You can see it in the trailer, the Scarif, the shield generator.
Well, they have everything from the DLC from Battlefield 1 anyway.
Yeah, but it'll be done properly because they said they only had the concept art to make the first one, so they'll be able to do Scarif and the Rogue One stuff proper now, which is awesome.
Don't you just love that the Master Switch is nowhere near anything? It's just a hub in the middle of a beach somewhere. We've got a Master Switch, but yeah.
Well, that's probably where they had it from, it being a different building, though.
That's a good point, actually, yeah. I mean, all those shots, there's so many shots that if you watched the first trailer that lied to us, there was so much of them getting the plans, and George said the tower was somewhere else, so they were getting to that.
Sorry, so one thing I like about the U-Wings here is they utilize kind of like the Hueys in kind of like Vietnam and that kind of thing. So that kind of hovering just above the ground and deploying the troops and kind of being that reinforcement. It's kind of cool. Again, here, talk about the architecture. Seeing the TIE fighters is just, I love watching TIE fighters. I've watched them all day. So yes, as I said earlier here, the reference to some of the different plans and looking through everything to find it. If you recast this, you can actually find out the different names for some of the plans that are actually name dropped in there as well. Yes, as I said, it was probably from when it was a different building, as the fact the hub's somewhere else. But here we are. So the Max Omega, Pax Aurora, Stellarsphere and things like that, they're actually name dropped in Catalyst, and they're actually given more of a background so you can find out what they are. Again, blast doors here. I love those shots with the shore troopers come out. Again, it's just more things referred to kind of in episode 4 and beyond with the architecture of the doors and everything else. Yeah, it's one of the things with this film is just how well they stitch everything together. The production design on it is incredible.
The aesthetic is very much Star Wars. I love the despondent look that he's been caught here. I
can explain, and then things just go like, "No, we got you back. Don't worry."
Some of these shots of these troopers, I mean, they really are a lot of headshots.
How do all these stormtroopers don't kill him? Sooner, I have no idea. But at least they actually hit him.
I'm guessing his armor's probably a lot stronger for being an Imperial droid.
Yeah.
So
the Imperial droid died earlier from one shot.
Yeah.
Oh, well, good point. Well remembered. And
it's a very well placed.
It hit him right in his droid heart.
Exactly, it's a very well placed shot.
I'm not too keen on the sort of the video game. Let's be steady hands here and steal the pans.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. It's very much like those 2P machines, not 2P machines, the grabbing machine for a toy.
Yeah.
But apparently, I have heard that there's something. I've never seen THX 1138, but apparently there's something very similar in that control. So someone's actually made a comment that it's very close to that.
Goodbye, K2SO.
Oh, that broke me a little bit. The cinema, the first character to go, and it was and to feel that was for a droid.
Yeah.
That's it. It's to make you feel for a droid like that in one movie where we haven't really had the relationship we have like with a C-3PO or an R2-D2.
Yeah.
That it's so telling, and the way the storytelling of it. It's that drew me in, and I was absolutely hooked from literally the moment I got into this film. As soon as it started.
Mm. And now finally, Krennic's releasing his Death Troopers into battle. Why he hasn't done that from the start, I have no idea. But yep,
they're held back. They are literally the SAS when they really need them. When things aren't going well, Death Troopers.
Oh, for sure. I love the communicator as well. Kind of very reminiscent of that in episode 4. It's hard, as we said, just to sit back and not watch the film.
Especially these closing sort of 20 minutes that we have left.
It's interesting how there's so much more slack in that rope than there was before. Here we go, though. The Tyree from the 2 TIE Strikers coming in for the again, these shots here, the practical FX mixing with the CG. And again, there though, with the old school targeting computer on the TIE fighters, it just brings it all together.
I don't know what anybody else's thoughts. I know that when they did some of these shots, Gareth Edwards they had created the environment, and Gareth Edwards could shoot any way he wanted in those space battles. So he had full control over the way the shots were done. I think it just it gets you so much more into the movie. I don't know what your thoughts are, George, on the way it was shot on that.
I love that. That's one of my favourite shots of the film, and I get good that they put it off too early because, he wanted to do a lot of these long takes, one shots, and you can tell that the reshoots, especially for the final scene, were cutting some of them out. But the way he shot is fun because he said he had a 360-degree set, do it in the jungles, even at Yavin, and it just freed him up to so much more. But it's probably a better experience for the cast and crew to immerse themselves in the worlds. But even some of these scenes here, like the Death Troopers come in, they wipe them out. It's the battle's gone too easy for them at this point, especially the ground guys, and they need it. That's why you get the change in the soundtrack. But it's just the way Gareth Edwards shot the film is great. He's so hands-on with it. I know he's got a director of photography and stuff, but you can tell that he's had such a high input on that.
Absolutely. I mean, it is a beautifully shot film. It's a step up from where he started. I think it was Monsters, his first film that he did in his bedroom with his own special effects. He did all of that, and to now be handed this after. I mean, yes, he had Godzilla. There are arguments whether that's a good movie or not, but nothing really with the way it's shot and the effects, certainly. But this is a step up again. His credence certainly went up with me, definitely, the way this film's come out.
I love that he goes for the second door as well to get them, like, it's locked, well, there's another door up there.
Yeah. Just go upstairs. Right, okay.
Yeah, but the thing is that it takes out that film logic of, well, how did he get there? of, oh, there's another door. It actually shows that there's another door. It stops there's because a lot of sometimes you watch films and go, well, how did that bit happen? Gareth Edwards does a great job taking out some of that. Well, it's film logic. Shut up and enjoy it. And again, here they're not showing to show the death either, because that's Melchi already gone. Chirrut knows what's coming. He knows what he has to do.
This is the moment I was expecting a lightsaber. I honestly was. Yeah. When I saw this, I thought he was going to step out.
I wouldn't have been disappointed if there was. However, I'm glad there wasn't.
Yeah, because it bigs up Vader's at the end to be even bigger.
Exactly, yeah. You're right. The only one we need to see was the one we're going to get in about 10 minutes. And the impact of that is what left a lot of people when you come out of the cinema with their mouths wide open still.
There's one point I want to make here. I've seen a lot of complaints about, again, the Stormtroopers, how they miss until after he's done the switch. But what it actually gives credence to is, because he's doing his praying with one with the Force is with me, it gives credence to the notion of the Force can protect you, and if you can utilize it, it will help you, it will protect you in that kind of way. But it just gives credence to how the Force works, not necessarily of, Force works like that's not how the Force works. It gives you just this added notion of not just Jedis that can use it, it's actually a living entity. It gives it more of the living Force aspect to it instead of the midichlorians it's another aspect. It's a scientific aspect that we get from episode 1. I know why George Lucas tried to do it. It didn't work, and no one really likes it, but you can see the why and how he did it. But to have this is just this death here.
Let's just take a moment now for this scene. If this another one, this is our second death of our two major characters, and this turn of,
sadly it's what we knew was coming from the panel.
Unfortunately it was spoiled, but it's still that moment where Baze, from being what is basically a protective Chirrut, becomes a guardian again. And had the impact of this on me. I'll not lie, I rolled quite a number of tears while I watched this movie.
Many tears were shed during this film. But to go back to my point there, though, is again because then Baze continues that I'm one with the Force is with me, and it does give you that notion that it's not just Jedi that can utilize it. If you're Force sensitive, you can have a connection with the Force and all living beings, which is how he's able to sense the Kyber crystal, because he can sense things. Yes, the ion torpedoes here are quite cool. So it gives them again more of an aspect to the Rebel Alliance's capabilities, because up until this point, even in Rebels, they don't have any major victories. So to have everything finally built up from them getting the Y-Wings for General Dodonna's unit, for getting everything built up to this point with the Hammerhead corvettes as well, to see it all brought together is just wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And brothers, here we go, Rogue One, yes.
Obviously we've all done sort of things, but I know George built like the Agostini Millennium Falcon. When you see the amount of detail on those Star Destroyers, that they aren't models, I mean, I don't know what you think of the actual design of the detail, that they look so much like the original models on that.
The models are stunning. Just seeing them, every single little bit, just even in the side or under the underbelly, it's absolutely insane, and I wish they did something well. That's why because it cost a bomb, but also this scene
is
Bodhi. It was his first week on set to film his death scene, which was like
his first day on set was filming his death scene. But the point here is that's the one death we saw in the trailer that we didn't know.
Yeah, actually see the explosion. It
was Bodhi's death. Of course, now here we go. We have Baze being badass, take on all the Death Troopers by himself.
Exactly. Like, people talk about Boromir and like Lord of the Rings, but he kills 3 people with a bow. But this guy, he takes out a wave of Death Troopers.
Yeah. While taking shots as well. It's not like
exactly.
And he almost got away with it if it wasn't for the guy who already had a grenade.
Who's meddling kids and a dumb dog. Yeah.
Although he could have probably rolled slightly, but I think it's the perfect way to go of him looking at Chirrut.
Yeah, he looks at him and he knows it's a look of like, I'm coming, I'm going to join you now.
I like how this is kind of reminiscent of episode 5, when it gets the other way around, when Luke is going trying to get away from Vader on Bespin and Cloud City. To have that opening and shutting iris there.
Also, the top of the Falcon opens the same way.
Yeah,
That's why I always saw the Falcon open in Lando.
Yeah.
I love this bit with the Hammerhead Corvette, though, that throwback to Rebels. The fact that they confirm that though they've been fitted more for war since then, it is those particular ones you see. They're not afraid to, unlike Marvel, who don't really stitch theirs together. You know, it's all the same universe. Star Wars isn't afraid to. In fact, they openly encourage them to do it so that you do have more of an inclusive universe, which I love personally. I think it's something they do very well. I think Kiri Hart, Dave Filoni, and the story group with Pablo Hidalgo do a very good job of making sure everything is stitched together so that you have a seamless and expanded universe that we didn't really have before. I think they're doing a fantastic job, and I applaud them for what they're doing.
Wouldn't you know it that you get to the top of there, you put in your tape, only to find that the shield is not at the angle you need it at, the radar.
Yeah. It's one of those, you're wondering how I got here moments.
And then the moment everyone expected the TIE fighter to rise.
I was so disappointed when they found out that was bit that was taken out. Like, no, because I was so waiting for that.
I think
Are we thinking that? I've always thought it was Cassian. I thought it was going to be the rescue if they'd had him get off the planet. That was always my thought. But I
hadn't thought of that.
I like the thought of Krennic in it as well, that he just got up there and just go, right.
No, I think it would have been Cassian, but I like that point.
He's walking across the water, isn't he, in the original trailer?
Yeah, he does with his dragging his cape behind him. And look at the bits that start coming off here.
Yeah, that's what's amazing.
A model.
It's also the fact that you see the shield go as well. You see this little blue flare from the shield.
It's just that level of detail for someone to have sat. And someone makes that. Someone sits and designs.
Oh yeah, it would have taken them
off that.
There's a reason why post-production takes a year.
Sometimes I think watching a film, but now actually sitting and commenting on it at the same time, it does make you take in a bit more than you probably would just sit and watching it. It's some of it's blown me away, and I've seen this movie like 6-7 times. Jin Reed does like to hang off stuff in films.
She does. I also like that Krennic's pistol is again more like a 6-shooter. If you play Battlefront, you'll know it is actually affects this.
It's the Star Wars version of Magnum, isn't it? I love it.
It's incredible.
I just love it. Like, oh look, another person in the way of Jin.
Yeah. I have realised by now that again, I know I've been joking about the I love it drinking game, but by now, if you are starting to play this game, I really feel sorry for your liver.
This is where the I'm John Cena would come in.
It's absolutely the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you knew she wasn't going to get shot there. I love the play on who are you, and it's like, all right, this is it. Look at that. He's so confident still at this moment.
So arrogant. The arrogance of the Empire here. They know that they've beaten the rebels into a pulp of what they feel. And of course, nope.
You always get shot in the shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the opposite shoulder, the one he got shot on the first time?
This.
So yes, it's like
This, without doubt, one of the
the
greatest songs in the Star Wars series ever.
Definitely.
Composed, and will stand the test of time.
Yeah.
And again, for like you say, 4 weeks for him to put this soundtrack together to come up with music this good is absolutely incredible. And then here we go, transmission being sent.
It's one of my favorite soundtracks of all time, and it's the fact that Giacchino did a soundtrack that sounds very Star Wars is good, because John Williams created the musical universe, but to have Giacchino's soundtrack be built into it works well, because if you watch things like Rebels and Clone Wars, they build into the soundtrack, but it's on a smaller scale, whereas on this, it's you have to have a full score. Here we go. Classic shot of the Death Star plan. So I love that shot. But yes, so to have the music put into it so well, I think Krennic's theme's better than Kylo Ren's theme, I must admit. Yeah, it's a really cool score.
I prefer this score over Williams' Force Awakens score.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
By quite a margin.
Yeah. The Death Star appearing over there, that's so cool. It's like, yeah, Lord Vader will handle the fleet. It's like, yes, come on, Vader. We just want him now. More Vader, please.
I love the shot of him in the shoes, because obviously he never wear them as well in the original.
Yes. It would have been nice to pan down. He had the slippers on, just the back of them, so a little bit of fluff. Would have been lovely just to see that.
It's interesting, though, if you read Catalyst, he actually has his suit tailor-made for him, including the boots. So it's Yeah, it would be nice to have the tailor-made slippers. Here we thought we might get something, but I was glad they didn't.
Yeah, but it's nice that they cut away because it looks like they could have had a moment there where we got like, oh, there's a bit of a romantic.
Oh, right, no, it is the other shoulder. See, it's
just amazing.
You may fire when ready. It's just that classic line.
But you're right, Krennic is still looking at that Death Star, and at that moment he knows game over.
Oh, he knows he's screwed.
But he's still got a look on his face of admiration for what they've built.
Yeah.
Oh. Straight through.
They miss as well, which I like. The fact that they take their time to do the death scene's hilarious because they miss.
I kind of like
they
it.
Actually miss.
Planet, but it goes right through where Krennic is lying.
Yeah, but the things that they miss because he's aiming for. He said target the Citadel and Scarif, and they miss. They don't hit it. They hit the top of it and skim it.
Or was that from the original? It was different places.
Oh, sorry. This bit is just I can't help it. Vader, red lenses.
Now,
yep.
Anybody who has seen Rogue One or has not seen Rogue One is looking forward to this scene because
this is romanticism on the beach with the sunset. Yes.
But that, I mean, unfortunately, it did remind me of is it Deep Impact, where they're on the beach waiting for the tidal wave to take them. But it's a great moment that these two characters.
Deep Impact from a different sort.
Have done Phil. They've done this this job, and that they're now resigned to the fact that they're going to die.
Yeah,
and it's just, I mean, that's a stunning shot. And look at this dude.
Yep. Prepare a boarding party. Yes,
that's just classic Vader in every sense. Sorry, George.
It's underrated Star Wars, but I'm so excited that they've got James Earl Jones back for Lion King as well.
Yes.
I have a very different opinion because I wish they should just use the original audio track. If they're gonna, if they have to remake it, just use all the original audio and just do a CG version. I'm sorry, I don't like what they're doing with the remakes. I'm not a fan of it, but that's a different conversation for a different day. Because now we're getting to one of my favorite parts of all, with the Lander shuttle, the 2 TIE fighters, and 2 TIE bombers. It's the only the second film you see TIE bombers in.
Let me ask,
in Empire.
In your opinions, what are in placement of scenes in Star Wars? How highly do you rate this scene, George? Go first. Go, come on.
Top 5.
Top 5, Phil.
Top 2.
Oh, nice.
It's second. So second, just behind Luke versus Vader in Jedi.
Oh, nice. To be honest, I said the question. I haven't really thought about where I place it, but I would, probably.
That's why I said top 5.
This now, the breathing, the lightsaber, that one. Yes. I bit my hand so hard in the cinema to stop myself from screaming like a little schoolgirl. It was just and Vader being brutal. This is how I've always wanted to see Vader. This is how I always imagined him as a kid. Just, chokes on the ceiling, and then the fact he walks past and hacks him open. There. It's incredible.
So well done. And I don't know if this was one of the shots they put in at the end. I don't know. I think this
wasn't, no. The only thing that annoys me, though, and I've seen it, is the fact that why didn't he just kind of use the Force to pull the plans out of the guy's hands? Maybe he didn't see it, maybe not.
Maybe he doesn't know what they're passing on.
Yeah, maybe he probably doesn't.
He doesn't know. He knows the transmission.
Gareth Edwards here, right? Everybody, the director makes
a shade of that one scene.
Yeah, made it the most important cameo of all time, and that shot of Vader there. Just yes.
It's just now we're gonna literally fly into A New Hope. This is like what 10, 20 minutes before it starts.
Yeah,
I mean we're kind of closing in on the end of the film. So let's. Well, we've got credits to talk over, but what do we think of the CGI that they've now used? I mean, yes, Tarkin is done very well. This shot, I would prefer to finish with the back of Leia. I don't think we need to see her face.
But
the turn and look down would have been enough. She didn't need to look up and speak.
Still gets me. It's
still lovely to see Carrie. I mean, it's just amazing that they've got to this point.
And there we go. Yes, that was
before we wrap it up.
Gone by quickly.
Credits. It has flown over. So, overall thoughts, George. What are your overall thoughts on Rogue One? And then
it's still as amazing. To me, it's still the 3rd best Star Wars film there's been, behind Empire and Return of the Jedi. No, we go on record and say that every time.
Wait, you think that Rogue One's better than A New Hope?
Yeah. I know I'm in a minority, but I've said this for ages.
Wow. Well, my friend thinks it's who we had on, Robin. He actually thinks it's the best Star Wars film of all time, which I think is a bit mad. But
Phil, where would you
sorry,
place
George.
it?
Continue.
Oh, sorry, George. Yeah, overall thoughts is that?
Oh, sorry. I wrote. I don't really know what to say. Like, it's just amazing seeing everyone introduced, everyone die, everything from the characters to the CGI to the practical effects. It was a wonderful way for them to start the era of the spin-off films, and I think the right director doing it with the right storyline. It would have been too ballsy to start the Han Solo film, which I've got fingers crossed for. But this was perfect, and everyone played their role phenomenally. The only thing I can complain about is Felicity Jones' price tag, and that says a lot. That's not actually the film I'm complaining about.
Yeah.
Phil, overall position film of this film in the saga for you, and overall
for me, I put it right behind the original trilogy, behind 4, 5, and 6. But it is definitely up there. It's the best prequel film by far. It's better than Force Awakens. I love Force Awakens personally. I adore that film with a passion, but I just think that they did a much better all-round job with Rogue One. The soundtrack's incredible. The characters are amazing. The fact they all died, that for me made it perfect, because if they'd left some people alive, then you then have these questions of where were they for episode 4, 5, and 6, or the rest of it. But they killed everyone. Just nailed it. And all the little throwbacks, the ghost, and but for me personally, Vader at the end is what made it so good, because that's how I've always wanted to see Vader. That's how I envisioned him as a kid, and to see him finally be that badass and that kind of I'm going to screw everything up. Love it to bits. What about you?
Myself, I would put this as it is in my top 3, but I would put it. I've got Star Wars, Empire, and then this as my third favorite film in the saga. Star Wars is just because I think it's an age thing. But yeah, I mean, the film itself is so well done. It's like George said, it's such a rounded out story for them to have this as their first film. That it's not a saga film, but this is so close to being a saga film. It's literally a smidge away from being in the saga. And I'd love it to have been a saga film. Obviously, once they're in episodes, you can't really do that. The direction is superb. The Vader scene is, you're right, it's in probably my top 5 Star Wars scenes ever, which for a film that we weren't sure were going in, how good it was going to be, for it to have that impact. And it's just, the introduction again, it just makes me happy to see this film now, to watch it again. And you're right, 2 and a bit hours flew over, and it's I'm over the moon with it. Yeah, so it's rated very highly, and I've loved today just watching it again.
Yeah. What if any complaints do either of you two have? I'll start off with I have only one complaint about this film that I would change personally, and that would be I would give it a crawl, and I would use the novel Catalyst, which I urge anyone to read if they like reading the books. If they'd condense Catalyst into a crawl to give Galen and Krennic's relationship more background, and to give those just flesh out the background of the characters a bit more, would have been good. Because I went with Adele, who's my co-host with me on the Bucket Awesomeness, my other half. She went into it, and one of the things that took her out of it, she didn't know too much about the background. I've spoke to a couple of people, and they didn't know too much about the background. It kind of took them out a little bit from that. So just to have that crawl in there would have given other people more of an introspection of the characters. But that would be my only complaint, guys.
George, anything?
I would have liked the crawl. One issue is, it's not really an issue, but it's just hard to introduce a ensemble cast in 30 minutes. I thought they nailed that, but a lot of people complain about that because it just jumped very quickly from planet to planet to planet. But I personally that works, but it's one of the things you need to really understand. If that, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I've got, to be honest, I have no real complaints about the film. The more I see it, the only thing I think it's a little bit, that first hour is a little bit slow, but it's because it's introducing, you're right, you said, so many planets, so many characters that they need to get you to know so you can continue on with the rest of the story. That for me is really the only thing. I find the first hour probably goes a little bit slowly. But other than that, for me, as it stands, the Star Wars film, and seeing it again today, I've got no real complaints for it.
Indeed. So there you have it. I think that's all of our closing points. Would you agree, gentlemen?
Yeah.
Just a big thank you to anybody who's joined us watching this live now, anybody who's listening in the future on iTunes. Hope you enjoyed the commentary as much as I know we've enjoyed putting it out for you. We have got some stuff coming. We are looking hopefully around the time of the actual 40th anniversary to do this again for A New Hope, and probably through the rest of over the coming months and years, hopefully we'll be still doing this, that we'll get ourselves right through all the films that we have and that will be coming. So yeah, really from me, just a big thank you to everyone. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone on Facebook. The group has gone up again. I think we're over like 170, 120 likes. Our subscribers are growing on the YouTube channel. So really from me and the rest of the guys as well, just a massive, massive thank you for your support.
Indeed. George?
Yeah, if you've enjoyed this, let us know. We have another commentary coming very, very soon, which I'm excited to do, which I'll be talking about what I prefer Red One over episode 4 A New Hope. But a massive shout out to everyone for having a look. Go find tonight. There's going to be a very announced on here. Tonight there's going to be a very special documentary released on YouTube called Building Art, a documentary. Hasn't actually been announced. It's coming out tonight. Yeah, that's going to happen in 4 hours. So anyone listening on YouTube got the first heads up on that. But keep following us. Check out the SoundCloud, the iTunes if you prefer MP3s. If you're listening on there already, maybe go check out the YouTube. So we do go live for all of our shows. So keep following us, and we've got a lot of stuff that we cannot wait to be doing in the future.
Indeed. I will mirror both Dave and George saying thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for listening or watching. We're glad to, in a sense, provide a service because they didn't give you a commentary on the Rogue One DVD, so we've done it for them. And yes, I mirrored the guys, and we've got a lot more coming. Personally, I know I've got my celebration box coming very soon. It's on its way, so I'll be unboxing that soon on the channel. I can't wait for that. Sorry, George, get away with that. These two have seen what's inside some of the boxes. I haven't yet. I have kept it spoiler-free, so I'm looking forward to that.
We are very much looking forward to your video.
Please live stream.
This sounds very ominous. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this now. But that's a different point. But yes, basically, don't forget to join us every other week on Wednesday at 8 p.m. GMT, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out us on Facebook, on Twitter. We will be going live. We have so much content coming up. We can't wait to bring it for you. So yes, we've been Ones of the Force. May the Force be with you. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye.